Speaking of recordings, I don't know what happened. It was probably Mercury retrograde. That's what I made a video saying it don't never affect me, and this time around it affects me. I can't find the recording for the week 3 of the visualization that we went over 2 weeks ago. I don't know what happened to
I think I may remember what happened to it, but I don't know. I mean, not what happened to it, what we did on it.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to redo it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I can look through here again. It'll probably pop up.
All right, yeah, I'm sure it will too. I'm sure it will too. But you already know how I have to start this before I say anything else. I like to say peace to everybody that's in the Zoom call today. I'd like to say peace, blessings. I hope everything is well. I know everything is gonna go well. Peace to you, anybody around you, and anybody that you know. All right.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Always.
Yeah. So what were you about to say, Kez, about something you had going on?
Yeah, after we did that 45-minute session, anytime after that, anytime the rhythmic breathing song came on my playlist, I tried to do it. But every time I try to do it, it's not that I will feel there's one or two things that happen. First thing is I will feel light, like my whole body feel light because I will be moving around because that's when I'll be playing music, so I'll be in my productive state. So I'll be moving around. I'll either feel light, like I have to go and lay down, or I'll feel heavy, like I have to go and lay down. But today, I was doing it anyway, and I was just listening to music while I was doing my homework. Since I was listening to music while I was doing my homework, it was better. So I was just laying down when it came on. And then when that happened, yeah, it was cool. It was a normal one. I only did it for like 5 minutes, like I told you. But then after the song went off, I went outside. Man, I was like 5 times faster than normal while I was doing it. It was crazy. I didn't think it was possible. Like I was moving quick, real quick, because I was playing with my dog. Man, you're right. That does boost something when you're doing sports or running. Boost something. I don't know what.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when you're running and stuff, it'll put you in a whole different gear. Things, yeah, it'll put you in a whole different gear. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was fun for me. Anytime I tried it, it was fun.
What have you been noticing with your concentration?
What have I been noticing?
Yeah.
I've been noticing well, a lot of things. First off is at my school, my teacher pulled up a little video for Netflix trying to tell the students about their attention and trying to spread awareness on how their attention is being controlled by everything around them. And before the video even started, I say straight up, this video, I already know 10 times as much stuff before it even starts. I already know 10 times as much stuff that's inside of this video.
And I was helping my teacher too. I was telling my teacher about his awareness, how he could control his awareness. And I said, you know what? You want to control your awareness? Start that key to success. Start that. Yeah, I told him to start that. He want to control his awareness. Well, yeah, that's something I noticed that been happening. I mean, that happened, I guess.
Yeah. So what are you understanding about your attention?
I'm understanding that, well, my intention, it's now for me, it's very easy for me to control. Like I can fully 100% control what I let into my mind and what comes out now. And it's true what you said, and all it took was concentration and willpower. I noticed about that of my attention, and the longer I keep my attention on something, the harder it is to get that something outside of my head. That is another thing that I noticed too. So yeah, and the only thing that's easiest to get out of my head, even though my intention will be on it, is my affirmations. I don't know why it's so easy, but like oh my gosh, I've been saying that for a while today.
Yeah.
Like I have $1,000. That's my affirmation I've been saying for a while because I was on that live and you said if you had $100, let's manifest 1,000. If you got 1,000, let's manifest 10,000. So that's what I was doing. I was saying that all day.
Yeah.
Started at I started at like 2 o'clock, went all the way up to 3:33 that time, and then after that I went for like 10 more minutes. Then I forgot about it, and then I started back around 4, went to like 5, forgot about it. So then I just stayed back up again like 10 minutes ago, and now I forgot about it. But basically,
That's all right.
after I woke up, I just been saying it all day today, like way, way more than I would ever say anything. I just been saying that all dang day today. And every time I go to sleep, I do practice my visualization to manifest $1,000.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Is when you're saying it, are you seeing it in your mind as you're
Oh
saying?
yes, every single time I see it, I just imagine that stack of $1,000 in my hand. But then when I lay down, I just imagine the full scene,
Yeah,
the full scene.
yeah.
And
Well,
something
now
else I wanted to
one thing also, because manifesting money is always an interesting thing to me. Um, what what are you gonna do with that $1,000?
initially I wanted to save it up, but
Okay, yeah.
then I was thinking because like I'm starting on an ultimate frisbee team with
Hmm.
my friends at school because I
Yeah.
want to play any type of sports. So I'm gonna start that and I'm gonna need cleats. And right now I'm rocking just under $100. So I was trying to save that up for the mentee course. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm on a live. I need me some money. I'm just gonna manifest some. So
Okay,
yeah, initially I was
okay.
planning to save it, but
Hmm.
then I'm noticing a lot of little things here and there that I might want, like a fan, because after I work out, man, I would love me a fan. Like
Yeah.
that, some cleats, and just little stuff like that, I guess.
Okay, okay. Other than those few things, what would you be saving up for?
I will be saving up for me to start a lawn care business. I wanted to start one this summer, last summer, but why didn't I? I think I just wasn't disciplined enough because like I got my whole business card things and all that. I just needed to literally just get up, knock on the neighbor's door, and that's it. But I
Yeah,
never did that for some
yeah.
reason.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't get to do that last summer. But this summer, my mom, without me even asking, she got all the tools that I need.
Nice,
I
nice.
think it's maybe yeah,
Now, have you
all the tools that I need.
are you planning on only doing that during the summer? There's no plans on doing it during school?
Oh no, shoot, I already know school. The only thing I want to do in school is to grow.
Yeah,
Because really,
okay.
the only things
Making
it'll
sure.
teach me is to further control my
Yeah,
emotions and stuff. So really, I don't need school.
yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, I guess I'm planning on doing that on school too, because I can make some money in the fall by the leaves falling, and make some money in the
Oh,
winter
yeah.
by blowing and doing
Yeah,
it
that's what
all
I was
year
gonna say.
round.
You can start doing that and building your clientele to where by the time summertime comes, you already got 10 people you were doing leaves for. Then come springtime, shoveling snow. Come springtime, you can be weeding people's garden, doing some landscaping to where once the grass starts growing, you already got 20 people. But so that's good. So because I'm asking all of this, and there's nothing wrong with saving money because a lot of times what that will do for us is have a sense of security within our mind, right? And
Yep.
a sense of like foundation and security, right? So
Hmm.
so what that will so partly that may be another reason why you want to save money. What you're saving money for is the stability and the security, and so
Oh That's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, and so I'm asking these things so that you can help fill out your image of what you're visualizing. Because just visualizing $1,000, I mean, the universe gonna find the fastest way to do it. You know, like one time, I had an attorney, it's a really good friend of mine, and I was over there doing some construction work, building some shelves, and one of the clients came, dropped off $100,000. I've been visualizing money for a minute. This was like 6, 7 years ago. I just was visualizing a big pile of money. I'm in there building these shelves. He comes in with 2 grocery bags full of money and just dumps them on the floor right in front of me. And then and asked me to help him count it to make sure it's all there. And then we're about 20,000 into it, and I just start busting out laughing. He's like, "What?" I said, "Man, my dumb ass been sitting here just visualizing a big pile of money in my hands and the feeling of it and how exciting it would feel." Because it was exciting. I'm like, "Damn, I ain't never seen this much money." You know, we're all laughing and all giddy and shit. But then I'm realizing, like, man, I just manifested it, but it's his money. You ain't got shit to do with me. I ain't even get a little extra $100 to put in my own pocket for counting it. Like, you know, but so what I'm saying is the universe found the fastest way for me to have that experience that I imaged. I created an image of having a big pile of money. It in my head, biggest pile I've ever seen by times 10. You know what I mean? And really more than that even. and and it happened. It happened. It didn't really take that long to happen either. But it was somebody else's money and didn't do a damn thing for me. You know, so money is a means to an end. It's just an energy. And that's when it really became very clear to me about that. And that's really when a lot of things started shifting and changing as part of my abundance, like accelerating. I mean, things were already shifting and changing. Like at that point, I'd already doubled my income in the last year, but I've more than doubled it since then. You know, so um, it's it's interesting to when you start visualizing about money, you know, because you could just, you know, you're visualizing $1,000. Next thing you know, you're at the bank to deposit your $100, and the person next to you, you know what I mean, is withdrawing $1,000, and boom, you look over, boom, you just saw $1,000. There you go, you manifested it. So visualize the fan in your room. You know, you don't want to visualize going and buying it because that's limiting. You know, just visualize the end result. You want the fan? Visualize the fan. You want the cleats? Visualize yourself tying them up on the field right before you go out and play the ultimate frisbee with your friends. You know what I mean? And you want the landscaping business. You know what I mean? Visualize the you know the customers that you'll have and the paychecks they're giving you and how happy they are to pay you. You know, visualize people just happy that they're emptying out their own pockets because they're giving it to you because that's how much they enjoy your business. You know that they're happy to see money leave out of their own pockets, and so you know visualize those things. You know, and then the rest will fall through because like if you even if you visualize going and buying the cleats, you know what I mean, that's limiting, man, because you never know. You never know. You know, my uncle one time dropped off 4 pairs of Jordans to me when I was a kid, in eighth grade. That was my first time ever having a pair of Jordans. You know, I was over visiting at my aunt's house, and I mean, really, wasn't my aunt, is my cousin's dad, but I mean, he's my uncle. But you know, this is only like my second time meeting him, and he has tons of shoes. I've only had 1 pair of shoes ever in my life. And it was always my older cousin's shoes. And I said, so I was like, man, all your shoes look brand new. He's like, of course. I'm like, I ain't never had a brand new pair of shoes. He said, you haven't? He handed me 2 pairs of Jordans, a pair of Sean Kemp's, and a pair of somebody else, Ken Griffey's or something. I don't know. Or Emmitt Smith's. It's a pair of Emmitt Smith's. And that didn't even. I mean, I thought I fell out of heaven. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? 4 pairs of brand new shoes. I thought I was the man next time I went to school. But I mean, you know, he just gave me shoes. You know what I mean? So you never know. You know, if you visualize buying them, then you're limiting the universe on how it's going to get to you. You know, so be sure to just visualize the end result of what you're wanting. So as far as if you want more money, what are you wanting more money for? You know what I mean? If like it's $1,000, just having $1,000 regularly flowing in and out of your life, You know what I mean? What's that life gonna look like? And just visualize that life. You know what I mean? Once you get to that point and manifest it, then $10,000 freely flowing in and out of your life. You know what I mean? What's that life look like? What's the Kez that lives that life look like? You know what I mean? What's he feel like? What kind of decisions is he making? What kind of thoughts is he entertaining? You know, what kind of way does he carry himself? You know what I mean? And visualize that, versus just the money.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
I completely feel you, and I do that too. Like when I lay
Good,
down and
good.
I visualize, I mean I do the
Mhm.
whole thing.
Yeah, I
I
believe it.
visualize the band, me taking that off, me counting it, calling
Yeah.
my friend, be like, "Hey, bro, I just got $1,000,
There
man.
you go.
You
Yeah.
don't believe
Yeah.
this." Yeah, that's what I be visualizing.
Yeah. Now
And
that is good added in the conversation of calling somebody up, because then you'll kind of help eliminate the experience that I had of counting up somebody else's money.
uh-huh.
That's
I,
fun.
I know that's for sure. And
Yeah.
for some reason, anytime, like when I lay down and when I sent y'all that Discord message when I said I mixed the good with the bad and I made them
Yeah.
both combine. I
Yeah.
astral traveled to do that, and man, man, I mean, wow, it was weird, not weird. It was just different from any other experience I had. Like I felt like I was in a dream, but a
Hmm.
vivid dream. Like I just sat down, meditated, did some deep breaths for like 5 minutes, saying affirmations in my head. And then I went to my fifth grade side that I told you about before, the bad side that I wanted to eliminate. I got that
Mm.
side. And
Yeah.
then I got my eighth grade side for me right now, like the beginning of the school year, the person who only wanted to spread peace, and that's it's don't even entertain a single negative thoughts. I
Hmm.
got my fifth grade side on my left hand, my eighth grade side on my right hand, and I combined them. And now
Mm.
when I did that, I saw something magical. Like when after I did that, there was figure, a
Hmm.
figure right in front of me. That was the result of both of them. A figure. He was completely transparent, but he was like a black void, but also transparent. You can see him. You can see the black void inside of him, and you can also see through him. And he was
Hmm.
just sitting there meditating. And then around him was a full rainbow, just completely around his whole body. And so then I got both of my hands together. And at this point, I was visualizing me in my astral body. So then I got both of my hands together. I picked him up and I put him inside of my chest. I combined him with
Mm.
me currently.
Hmm.
And after I did that, my energy jolted up.
Yeah.
I mean, jolted. Like today, ooh, I got so much more energy than I ever had before.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
energy is still up there. Even though I worked out, played with my dog, listened to music, did homework, all that, I still got so much energy left.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So what do you think that you did for yourself internally?
Internally, I
Mhm.
think I combined, should I say combined? Internally, I think I had two of my sides together and I combined them to create a full, natural, neutral being. And I believe I combined that being with my present day self
Yeah.
because I got two energy bodies for me in the past, fifth grade and eighth grade, and I combined those energies together. Then I combined that energy with myself. And after I did that, I believe the effects that I thought it will hold is me being completely at peace with myself on my past, present, and future decisions that I will make to be at peace
Yeah.
with them and to not have a single worry or doubt at all.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Good. That's good, man. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
What
And
when was the last time that you did you do the concentration exercise yet today?
nope.
Okay. Did you do it? When was the last time you did it?
The last time, I'm wait, that's hard to say This week I was trying to get a clock to do it, but I don't got no clocks in my house, so I was thinking about just searching one up on YouTube, but I never
You don't
got
have
to
any.
that.
You don't have a candle.
A candle? Oh, I,
Yeah.
I I do got a candle, but since I'm on week 2, I wanted to switch it up. But then at the end, like just today, I was thinking about, you know what? I could still just use the candle instead of having to switch it up.
Yeah, I would.
But
I mean,
yeah,
honestly, I would suggest for you, I would suggest never switching it up because,
Mhm.
like with the goals that you have, concentration, like the more you can strengthen your concentration, is going to be the number one thing determining how quickly you reach those goals, and how powerful you become when you are able to reach those goals. And so, and the flame, the candle flame, is by far better than all the other modalities, all the other options, just because of the metaphysical effects of that element. Um, and by putting your attention on the fire and sitting within the fire, energy field sitting within the fire, it's I mean, it's light years beyond what a clock hand will do, or a drop of water, or a cloud will do. I just kind of put those things in there. Really, I put those things in there just because, you know, one, to have options, and then but also because some people, they hear, oh, go look at a candle flame, and they're like, oh, what's he trying to do to me? So I just, all right, fine, here, look at something else. But
Mhm.
but I know that you don't have an issue like that, and for what you're doing and where you're at, that would by far be the best option. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. But what I was going to ask is, the last time that you did it, what did you notice was distracting you?
What did I notice was distracting me?
Like whenever you found out your attention wasn't on the flame and brought it back, what was it that you realized was the source of the distraction the majority of the time?
Yep, since I already was most of my attention was on the flame, but the rest of it, like I told you before, like 90% was on the flame, 10% was on my breaths. Probably what distracted me back then. Why would I say back then? It sound like I'm saying it a while ago, but yeah,
I
last
got you.
time it distracted me was my thoughts. I can't remember the exact thought,
Yeah, yeah.
but
No, it's all right. Yeah, but the
mm,
fact that it was the thoughts, and that's good,
yeah.
So that's the last sense that's gonna be difficult to overcome, and that's always gonna be the case. I mean, until
Hmm.
you become a fully master your entire mind, which still working on too. It's like, there's only a so long that you can hold your attention on something before some sort of thought comes in. But it's to a point where the willpower is really coming into play, where it's like, okay, let me put my attention on here and see how long until a thought comes in to distract. So is it 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, 3 seconds? And so, and I'm not saying all this to focus on that, because then that'll become a distraction, right? But just afterwards, through contemplation and retrospection, something to be aware of, because then it's going to help you to become more aware, um, throughout the day, you know, and really work on, like now it's to the point where, like, stilling your mind more, which I can already tell you're getting a lot better at from when we first started, because when we first started, like me and you having a conversation like this, I would really only be able to get like 20, 30 seconds in before you would like start talking again and share what's on your mind, which was fine. It's just where you were at. Now, I mean, I think I've been talking for 3 minutes straight now, and you're just able to fully receive everything, and that's
Of course.
huge, huge. And so it's just evidence of like things like what you've been talking about, or early on, when you very first started, about your level of control and being able to put your attention somewhere and hold it there. You're even noticing the differences. But just wanted to point that out to say, like, that's a huge sign of progress, and you definitely want to keep it up, because one thing with like the concentration exercise that often happens with like after like 2 or 3 months or so, it's all my whole life, myself, also with many students, is it takes a lot to keep it up. Like once you start seeing results with it, um, it it takes a lot to like keep going with it because you've partly fulfilled the purpose of why you first started doing it in the first place. It's like, oh wow, I have some control over my attention now, you know? So it's like a dog when you're training a dog. Once you teach a dog how to sit and stay, you know, that's like the primary things. Like, oh my God, you know, so I taught it how to sit and stay. All of that hard work and effort that you put in very early on to do that kind of falls away some, you know, and you don't stay quite as disciplined with it. One, because there's not a need for such strong discipline in order to get results. But if you were to keep up that same level of discipline and going with it, I mean, that's when you'll really, because it's exponential, you know, so that's when it really takes off and you'll really have a lot faster growth. And so I'm only wanting to encourage you in that because you're like right at a point where it's like when we were breathing, right? The hardest part
Mhm.
was getting up the hill. You know what I mean? But once you were up the hill, like 10, 15 minutes in, 15, 20 minutes in, you know, that's when things really started, you know, like happening. You know what I mean? And so like I'm just encouraging you, like, don't let up now because right now is like it'd be like if you did the breathing for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then stop breathing and just sat in the space that you had created at that moment versus carrying it on. You know, a lot of us were sitting there talking about, man, I feel like 45 minutes wasn't enough. We could have kept going. And so you know, you wouldn't have really generated that space if you had stopped at 20 minutes. So what I'm saying is, even though you've already cultivated a lot of progress and growth with what you've done so far up till now, don't let it distract you from where you're trying to get to and remaining disciplined in getting there.
All right. Every single one of my goals, it does require concentration.
Yeah,
That's why even when I get done with the month's course, I already know I'm going to be concentrating on things here and there. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm going to
yeah,
concentrate on that every single day, every
good,
day.
good. Yeah, because that's kind of where you're at now. You can bring it to your life and everything can become a concentration exercise. I mean, absolutely. That's one of the bars in my next song. Everything I do, I turn into a meditation. But that's what I mean by it is that exercise.
All right, bet.
And if I'm with my crew, I turn into a demonstration. Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice, nice, beautiful. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing all that, man. Thank you.
Of course.
You have any dreams lately?
Any dreams, any dreams, any dreams. Now that we're on the topic of dreams, I could take 1 minute to try to remember. Oh, any dreams? Oh, yeah, that dream. All right. Yeah, I kind of interpreted a little bit of this myself, but I couldn't. I could have, but I just didn't do all of it.
Yeah.
So the dream was my family was in the car, but instead of me driving, my mom was driving, and we dropped my brother off to like one of my grandmother's friends. It's like somebody that I heard of, but somebody that I don't know that much. So we dropped that person off over there. And since we dropped that person off over there, I went back in the car and there was groceries in the back of the car, but we didn't go grocery shopping. I didn't notice that until I woke up. So yeah, we just did that. We went to a little park, or not a park, a parking lot. And then after we went to this parking lot, I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, after we went to that parking lot, I don't know exactly what happened. That was one dream like 2 nights ago. I think the dream that I had tonight was a little weird. Unless you want to interpret that first, or I could say this one too.
Okay. Whatever you. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and interpret this one. So,
All right.
you were driving, right? You were in a car moving down the road. Road represents your path in life. So you're making a lot of effort and progress in where you're wanting to go in life. You weren't driving, which is fine because the second best thing to you driving is a superconscious aspect is driving, or a superconscious symbol is driving. And so, you know, your mom's driving, which your superconscious mind is the mind that your spirit uses, you know. So you're being guided and directed by your inner spirit, and you're following that direction, and that's what's getting you progress.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys accumulated some groceries. Now you don't remember acquiring them, but you know that they're there. There's groceries along there, and groceries are, you know, what you use to create the knowledge, you know, the food. You use the groceries to create your meals and food to eat. So you aren't necessarily eating the food in the dream, but it's representing how, through following your own inner spirit and inner guidance and moving forward in progressing in the ways that you want to in life right now, you have all of the knowledge available to you to learn. So what I would suggest is really like incorporating this into your nightly routine. And you can kind of do it early on in your routine. It doesn't have to be like one of the last things you do or anything. It'd be one of the first things you do in your nightly routine. Just reflect on the day and really and do it in a way where you're really trying to identify what you can learn from each experience. And not just like learning the lesson of like you know, I can learn about this or that, but from the learning, what do you have the opportunity to understand deeper because of what you learned? You know, like are you able to understand leadership in a deeper way, friendship in a deeper way, willpower deeper way, abundance in a deeper way, you know, courage or whatever it is. It can be anything, you know, honesty, forgiveness, you know, you can go all day. And so just really look at what understandings you can deepen through the experiences that you had and the lessons that you were able to learn through those experiences. You know, that's going to be making sure, because you have the opportunity to do that, and you're aware that the learning and the lessons are there, and you have in your possession the things, the ingredients that you need, the mental tools that you need, the things that you need in order to do this. And now it's just to make sure you do it, and also make sure you're giving yourself enough rest, because the parking lot is, you know, the vehicle is all about your body, you know, the vehicle that your consciousness uses to move through life. And so a parking lot is where you go to allow the vehicle to rest. That's where the vehicle will lays at rest. So the parking lot is going to be about, you know, you needing to give your own body rest. So yeah, be sure to make sure that you're giving yourself proper rest. Have you been exercising a lot lately?
Exercising, yeah, I guess you could say that these 2 days in a row I've been exercising. I figured out a little schedule for me to rest on Wednesday and Sunday.
Okay, maybe it's more letting your mind rest. You know, you ever meditate?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I mean, for you, it'd be for you to interpret that. You know, how do you need to give your body a little more rest? Maybe it's just, you know, an extra hour of sleep than you're normally getting. Who knows? I don't know.
Yes, sleep. That's something I need to do.
Yeah.
But the main thing of this dream that it just clicked instantly is when you said like my super conscious mind is leading and I'm listening to it, like it's telling me what to do and I'm listening to it, right?
Yeah.
That that clicked with me hard because I remember one of your lives or videos that I was in. It was talking about one of a voice in your head, a guidance, a voice that tells you not everything, but helps you with the experiences that you're going through right now or the ones that you could have or already had, helping you with that, guiding you through that, telling you literally everything it tells you is to better you. Nothing it has said to me ever have been negative. Nothing at all. Everything it has said was to better me. And sometimes I ask it myself, what are you? Who are you? And one or two answers. First answer is, what's the first answer? Either silence or you. I'm you. It's either silence or I am you.
Yeah.
One or the other one. But
Yeah.
I also had a feeling that it could have been my superconscious mind, but I didn't know how my super. I only knew that my superconscious mind, like the rest of my mind, speaks through images.
Mhm.
So I don't know how that one could speak. Wait, but it's speaking to me through my head also.
Yeah, well, that could be a reflect, like the ego reflecting the thoughts of the superconscious mind. So you just need to be just mindful and just continue to observe and continue to identify further to be able to tell what's a conscious thought, what's a thought of the ego, what's a subconscious thought, what's a superconscious thought. So continue to reflect. Don't make any definitive determinations just yet. Have a speculation. It sounds like you have a speculation of what it may be, and continue to
Yeah.
explore, continue to discover, continue to identify until you get to a point where no one can tell you anything different. Which voice is which thought is which image is coming from where. And it'll take
Yeah.
time, but it'll take time and practice and find ways to determine, like especially like intuitive thoughts. Like whenever you have a thought about someone else or something, then ask them, and find out, is this intuitive or am I just making this shit up? Who knows? And so just do whatever you need to do to continue to explore and identify further which is which.
Yeah, of course. And how I don't know if I've been. I can't say paranoid. I haven't been paranoid lately, but I've been seeing a lot of things in my peripheral vision. Like
Mhm.
I think I see stuff, but then when I look there, nothing is there. Sometimes when I go to sleep, I'm not. I don't hear
Mhm.
voices. I hear sounds sometimes. So then I did a little research on it, and it's like, don't eat that. I don't think you can eat no Skittles. What are you looking at for? Yeah, I did a little research on it, and I discovered it could be clairaudience, but then, but like, yeah, it could be clairaudience. And then I also saw a video saying, so and so signs will have so and so abilities first, and it's my sign aligned up with clairaudience, but I didn't look at that as if that it's telling me the truth because, as you said, I don't believe nothing I see. I just create an experience for myself so I can know.
Yeah.
So I didn't believe that right then, but I just had that thought lingering on. So that's something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've been thinking about
Here's
lately.
here's an exercise I would want to give to you right now. It's an eye exercise that has far more benefits than just your eyes. But I'll
Uh
let
huh.
you do the exercise and find out for yourself what it will do for you, or everyone else here. But all you do, it's very simple. You do it for 5 minutes, but you just look straight ahead, and then you look up as far as your eyes can go. Then look back to the middle, look down as far as your eyes can go, look back to the middle, look to the left as far as your eyes can go, back to the middle, look to the right as far as your eyes can go, back to the middle, and do it again. Up, down, back to center, left, right, back to center. And that's all you do. Do it for 5 minutes, looking up, down, making a cross. Doot, 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 doot. Just you don't have to do it real fast or anything. Take time with it, but don't go. You don't need to go real slow, but just a normal pace with it. And then after like 2 weeks or so, then once you do the cross, up, down, left, right, then you do an X, right? Then a cross, then an X, cross, and an X. And so I would just start with the cross first, just so you don't kind of confuse yourself. And then, or if you want to, you can do the cross and the X, do whatever you like. But it'll completely transform your peripheral vision for sure. But it will also help. Um, it'll just do certain experiences for you with your dreams, your meditations, and your astral projection as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Just started doing it, and eyes became a little more clear at the side of them and the top. Not instantly, I would say, but I just noticed the side of my eyes a little bit better because that's a part of my vision that I really don't pay attention to. The sides or the up or the down. It's just
Yeah.
mainly straight. maybe a little bit to the left, right, up, down, and then I just turn my head the rest of it completely looking to the right or left or up or down.
Yeah, so this will do wonders for you then. Good.
All right.
Good. So yeah, let's table that second dream for a minute. We'll get it to someone else, and then we'll come back to that second dream with you.
All right, good. I got to use the bathroom, so
all right, perfect.
I'll be right back.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. So yeah, who else would like to share? Santana, I did get your dream, and I'm getting to it. I've just have had a full plate. No excuses though, but I did plan on getting to that today, so I will definitely do that. Or if you want to share it here, we can do it here, or I can.
Oh, is it appropriate?
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to read it yet. I saw it come in, and so I was waiting. I just saw the title. It's really long, and so I was like, okay, let me make sure I have enough time to really give it.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I started taking the dream thing really serious with the journal, so I have my journal here.
Yeah,
and
good.
Like I said, like the pages, it took me 2 hours to type that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice. So
I can relate.
Then I have so I literally I want to share my experiences, what I've been so I've been really consistent with the concentration with the candle.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. It's okay. The sounds of life.
And let me step out for a minute. So I've been really consistent, like I mentioned, with the concentration as far as the candle. I've been seeing tremendous effects. I make sure that I ground myself first, and then I'll shield myself for protection, because I notice that I'm always having little visitors and things like that. I started reading astrodynamics, and one thing that they talked about in the book is the astral wildlife. So I'm just like, damn, I didn't know I lived with, you never know how many entities or beings you just share your space with. So I'm learning how to, this to be normal for me. You ask for something like, God, I want a supernatural life, and then you get it, and it's just you here. And so one of my experiences, I think the third time, I just start experiencing like this extremely pressure. It's like when I was doing the concentration, and then it was like I started getting real bad headaches. So I was like, okay. And then I only did the breathing technique for twice. I only got to like 3 to 5 minutes before my headache got so bad. And I was like, whoa. And I started feeling my body go light. So I was like, damn, I should have grounded before this, because I know I can shoot off if I just really surrender. But I end up feeling like I made a breakthrough. I was asleep one night, and I started using the breath technique to enforce and mixed with the concentration method to enforce a stronger shield. So what I did was, each breath I took, I just started picturing my shield expand the more I breathed in and breathed out. And then because I've been doing the concentration method, I'm able to hold that visualization, so much longer. So the more attention you bring into the visualization, the stronger whatever is you're holding on to will be stronger. So the type of shield that I made for this it was like flubber. Are you guys familiar with the movie Flubber?
Yeah.
So anything that touched my shield, it would like bounce off like flubber, and then it would cast like a light sword, and it will stab you. And what it'll do is it will disappear any darkness that you may have in transition. And I'm so excited to tell you guys what happened. But so like the sword, it will pierce you, and then light will start infecting you. So that was the purpose of creating my shield. When I literally was in I'm learning how to get into the trance mode that they talk about in the book. I guarantee you guys not. Like, I literally heard a "ow, you dirty whore." Like, I was like, dang. Like, I knew, because I knew something. I have to keep my force fields and shields in place. But I shot somebody, don't mess with my space.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, like, I've become really sensitive. Like, I'll be like, who's in here? And it'll be a moth on the wall. Like, I was like, okay. So I'm not tripping. I end up, like I mentioned, I went through a breakthrough one night. I was laying there. One way where I wanted to increase, being in the mentorship, is I wanted to not only get better with my concentration, but I wanted to, learn the astral projection and just be more confident when I'm navigating and I'm unlocking my psychic abilities. So I've been, experiencing what trying to stay in the dimension between sleep and wakefulness, because that's when I receive my messages. So I noticed, like, I can hold that state of being the longest. So I was getting, some great advice from my higher selves, with telling me, like, yeah, you're having third eye pressure, so I need you to eat your colors. So I was like, okay, I've been eating my colors, so they was like, yeah, you've been eating your colors, but you've been eating the lower chakra colors. So I was like, I did buy some purple potatoes, y'all. I brought some purple yams, and they was like, that's what, and they like, a picture of purple yams popped up. I was like, okay. And then I said, if I'm reaching a breakthrough, I need to see that indigo. Like, you let me know if I made it. I need to see that indigo, like, just shot. So when I did the breathing technique the second time, I don't even get that far, you guys, because it's so intense for my body. I'm extremely sensitive. Like, I can only shoot for 3 minutes before I'm tapped out. But I've been increasing my abilities, and I end up, you know, falling asleep to the song. It was so peaceful to me. So I was like, okay, it's okay. But all of a sudden I reached the breakthrough where, like, the indigo color, and it shot through, and I was like, okay, I did it. So now when I'm doing the concentration, like, I don't experience the headaches. So I didn't understand, like, okay, that was third eye pressure. And it's starting to wake. Now I don't need to close my eyes to visualize. Now I can visualize, and I can move something with intention with my mind, without having to close my eyes to, visualize. My this I do want to share, like, this is this one of my dreams that I wanted to, pretty much ask you about.
Okay.
And
Well, before we get into that, let me just respond to a couple things that you
okay,
shared just now. First, let me ask you what state of mind are you in right now?
I would say beta. I'm not alpha. Alpha is a little bit more.
No, I mean, like, not like what brainwave patterns are
Oh,
activated,
okay.
right? But what is your current state of mind? Like it like an angry state of mind, a productive state of mind, a peaceful state of mind, like that kind of thing.
Feel
What is
really chill, happy, relaxed.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay, so a chill state of mind. Okay.
yeah.
What state of mind were you in before you got into that chill state of mind? What was the previous state of mind you were in through whatever you experienced today? Because we're in different
I
states of
did
mind
a
throughout
lot of.
the day. Like, when you're at
Yeah,
work, you're in
you're
a productive
absolutely
state of
right.
mind. When you're around your children, and you're more of like a teacher, a motherly state of mind. When you go around your friends, you're gonna be more like a festive state of mind. So
Yeah,
what was it?
I was in. So today I was, a little bit frustrated. I went from frustrating to, like, disassociating. Today I had a, very tough parenting day, and I
Mhm.
just wanted privacy. So that's kind of where I was. So a lot of times, I go into my little world a little bit, I go from there.
Okay. Okay. So, how what did that look like? The best you can identify through reflection and introspection and thinking back. What did that look like shifting from the frustrated state of mind into the chill state of mind, or the frustrated state of mind into whatever else you were in, and then from there into shifting into the chill state of mind? Like, are you able to kind of see how that shift
Sometimes,
happened?
well, sometimes it's perspective.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just shift my focus to something else. If
Exactly.
if I'm overwhelmed by something in my current state of being, and if I'm not ready to process like higher ground, I just shift my focus onto something else. Like shifting my focus was my state of mind changed immediately. I got you dropped the Zoom, and I was like, it's go time. Like, yeah, let's see what
Yeah.
that's about. And
Yeah.
and from there, you know, um, I've been really chill since we've been been on a Zoom.
Yeah. So the reason I was asking all of this is because kind of some of the stuff you were talking about, but one thing you specifically said, which came right in line because I was already thinking, okay, I'm gonna ask her this because we're gonna go along these lines. And then right after I thought that, you specifically said, one of the things I want to do is learn how to navigate this space more, this astral
Yeah,
space. And there's a universal truth. You are where your attention is. And it's no more evident how true that is than when you're in the astral plane, whether it's astral projection or dreaming, lucid dreaming, whatever it is. However you're experiencing that plane, it's very evident and true because of the element of time not being locked in. It'll happen so fast. So when I asked you this, how did that shift happen? You know what I mean? You pretty much stated your focus changed, your attention, where you had your attention changed. And so thus the state of where you existed mentally changed. And so I'm just saying that to say that the places when you are in the astral plane, the place where you exist is determined by your state of mind. So as you're just going through your day from here forward, just continue to observe, what state of mind am I in right now? And then as you notice that you're not in that state of mind anymore, and or as you're shifting into something else, just watch that shift and just observe how you do that. Become more and more conscious of how you do that, especially as you're doing the concentration exercises, and your power over your attention becomes so much stronger. But that's why I say all the time how concentration is so vital to navigating, because it you are where your attention is. If you're ever in a space in the astral plane that's not where you want to be, if you have a level of control over your attention, it will be very easy for you to move to a different space immediately. You know what I mean? If you start experiencing some other entities that are not for your best benefit, I mean, one, I would, me, I'm a kind guy. I give them an opportunity. I'll use my willpower and tell them to leave. You know what I mean? But if they don't, I mean, you don't even have to do that. Obliterate them immediately. You know what I mean? Or just use your attention to move from that space, because for them to even reach you, you have to at some point be having your attention on that same level of frequency for them to even have access. And so um you can also just leave immediately, because it takes no time to travel. So the stronger your willpower is, the stronger your ability to command them to leave your space, and the stronger your ability to completely destroy them, because you can manifest anything at once. I mean, because if they're showing up, they're in your space. Unless you're projecting, you move into their space. Then you have to, like, okay, I'm sorry, I am in your space. You're right. I don't know how I got here. You know, but that's also why it's so important to be. But most of us, unless you're like pretty advanced, most of us aren't going into anybody else's spaces. We're pretty much staying within our own space within these projections. So I wanted to share that also, but also one thing that you had said, I forget what it is now. I literally just had it, but oh well, I guess it wasn't meant to share.
So you mentioned about willpower. I've been, learning more about willpower and how to access. Is there any exercises that you know that I can practice when invoking my willpower more? I know I
Yeah.
can do it with exercise. That's the best way that I can exert myself and push myself to my limits. And but I was wondering, is there any other ways that you actually increase
Yeah.
it?
Start just saying out loud the things that you plan to do. I will, I will brush my teeth. And start with things that you're already going to do. But as an idea comes in and you think, man, I should do it like with exercise. Next time you even think about exercising, say, I will exercise at 4 o'clock, and then make sure you do it. But say it out loud, invoke it. You know what I mean? That's why the throat chakra has partly to do with willpower, because that's where we invoke things. We will them into existence by creating a vibration that then affects the nature around us. And so, when you like, do you use an alarm clock every morning to get up?
Sometimes
Yeah.
I've been waking up on it. Sometimes the alarm wakes me up, and sometimes like I wake up from my dream and
Yeah,
then,
yeah, that's good. That's good. Getting up when you plan to get up, not hitting the snooze button. Those are all exercises you can do. Pretty much, willpower is making a conscious choice and following through with it. But not just making a choice and following through with it, but continually making choices and putting forth effort until your goal is achieved, until your ideal is achieved, and unceasingly putting forth the effort to make it happen until it's achieved. And so, you know, the reason that I suggest speaking these things out loud is because it helps you to, one, invoke it, and then it builds a practice of following through with it. It's a lot easier to follow through with it when you've said it out loud versus when it's just been a thought within your own mind. You haven't even uttered a word of it. Whether there's other people or not, the energy field around you is not as affected. So it's a lot easier to go against that choice that you made. So making decisive choices and following through with them is going to help strengthen your willpower. But all of these exercises are also all, like the concentration exercise is building your willpower. Every single time you acknowledge you're distracted and bring your attention back, that's strengthening your concentration. And then how long you hold your attention there is what strengthens your willpower. You know what I mean? So it really is like a two-part exercise where you're bringing your attention back to there, and then you're holding it there. You know what I mean? So like right now, anytime you're having a conversation, practice your willpower by, let me give this person my attention and let me hold my attention on what they're saying. Whether you're talking to, me, a relative, a friend, your kids, anything, whatever it is you're doing, try to hold wherever you're placing your attention, choosing to place your attention. Also, at the same time, choose to hold your attention there as long as you can without getting distracted. And this is because every time you do it, it's like one rep at the gym. Boom, it's gonna slowly continue to get stronger. With the experiences with the astral projection and the kind of that reverie state, that in between state you're talking about, holding yourself there. All of it is going to strengthen your willpower. But one thing that I would suggest definitely is start saying out loud, what, I'm going to do my dishes. I'm going to, whatever it is, I am going to call, Stacy and at 2 o'clock or whatever, or call him right now. I am going to text Malachi. That's my brother. And then just pull up the phone and text him right then. But in your mind, you already thought, oh, I'm gonna text Malachi. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But saying it out loud, I will text Malachi. It's conditioning your body and your mind and your emotional state, your consciousness, to will things into existence. And so that'll really help also.
Okay. I also wanted to just ask, what was the purpose of, you telling us to bring our attention up, to the middle? What exactly does that do, and what would we call that exercise?
I exercise. It's an ancient yogic exercise from I mean, it's in a lot of cultures, but how it got to me was through the lines of yogis, Hindus. But there's a lot of biological benefits, a ton of biological benefits, but also it really helps for meditation. It helps deepen your meditation. It helps strengthen your brow chakra through meditation. And then it also helps with dreaming and lucid dreaming and astral projection as well. It helps strengthen your mental perception. And how that happens, I don't want to take away too much of the discussion.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I add that to, my routine.
Yeah, just 5 minutes a day. It was funny because when I was sharing it with Kez, I was like, man, I haven't done this exercise like regularly every day in like 6 years. I did it every day for like probably 4 years straight. But yeah, it's been a while. I was like, man, I need to go ahead.
Did you try the candle exercise in the dark? Were you able?
Oh, you know what? I didn't try it in the dark. You know what? I'm about to write that down right now. I'm gonna do that tonight. Because I was so excited about it and then I forgot. Yeah, thank you for reminding me on that. Did you try it? What was it like?
I do it every time I do the exercise.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's right.
probably why.
That's where it came
And
from.
it's honestly more fast. The results are faster because nothing is in your peripheral distracting you. Light is a distraction. So if the only light is the candle, you have no choice but to focus on it because everything else is blocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fast tracking my results. Like I encourage everybody to do it. And if you can't get that alone time, I do it. You can do it in the tub. Like if I literally go take a shower or a bath while it's dark with that candle. Because since I moved back with my mom, like it's a party house. It's no privacy unless you're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, I have to find time to make sure I'm doing these exercises so I can, reach my goals.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. So you said you had a dream too?
Yeah, I dream every second, every moment. The only time I'm not able to remember is if I'm interrupted by something waking me up, such as somebody or my phone ringing. I'm not gonna be able to remember it because my head taking me so fast out of my sleeping state causes me to like forget everything. But I know when I nap, I dream. I've always been a dreamer, and it's just been increasing more to like I'm adding more detail, knowing more details. I can remember dialogues. I can remember certain things like, okay, there was a fly on the wall. It flapped twice. It's just I'm being more aware of things in the astral realm because I'm also practicing awareness in the waking state as well. So that helps me as well.
Yeah. I'm really glad. I was really glad when you said that that you gave yourself that experience and found out, because like last week when I encouraged you, I wasn't really so sure if you would or not, just because I had a lot of people a lot of times tell me to write down my dreams for years before I actually started, and because it was kind of the same thing, I'm like, man, I'll remember all my dreams. Like I don't need to write them down.
Right.
Trust me. Trust me. I don't need to write them down. But then really when I very first met my best friend now at the School of Metaphysics, where I learned how to interpret dreams. Very first day I met him, that's one thing. Oh yeah, we interpret dreams. I was like, man, I dream all these epic dreams. Like, yeah, you want me to interpret one? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And then he interpreted and then he said he gave me the suggestions right down. I said, okay, you know something about dreams I don't. If you telling me to do this, I'm doing it. Yeah. And then like I had a visitation dream within 3 days that completely transformed so much for me. I was carrying around so much guilt and things just because a really good friend of mine, like my best friend in middle school, we kind of lost touch after school and high school and everything. And I ran into him at Christmas because he lived by my grandma's house, and I was leaving my grandma's house for Christmas. And I saw him outside of his yard, outside of his mom's house. So I stopped by, and we called up for like an hour or two and called up with his family and everything. And we exchanged numbers to connect again and get stay in touch. But I'm always terrible at that. I'm the worst at keeping up with people. And and I never did keep up with him. Well, from that Christmas until the summer, in between then, I learned about the hand chakras from the hand chakra video and shared everything that I shared there. That happened like 3 months in March, 3 months after I saw him on Christmas. Well, 2 months after that, or no, like because it was in July. So, yeah, 4 months after that, I found out word that he had a brain tumor and died. Well, one of the things that I healed from was this growth growing on the bottom of my brain stem back here on by my medulla oblongata, right below where it hits the skull. I mean, this thing had been growing for like a year, and it had been getting bigger and bigger to like the size of a dime. And then I did the hand chakras, boom, put it on there. 30 days later, I ain't never seen it since. That was 11 years ago, 10 years ago.
Whoa.
And so when he died in July, and I found out what he died from, I carried so much guilt because I was like, if I would have just picked up the phone one time, you know what I mean? We would have hung out, and I would be like, wait, you doing what? Man, do this exercise I just did. I swear to God, it works. And he could have hit me, but who knows? Now I laugh at it because, of how many, I mean, I could tell that story and share that with 1,000 sick people, and only maybe one or two would actually even try it. And so, but it was still weighed so heavy on me. Like, man, I couldn't even pick up the phone once. And then when I started writing down my dreams, within 3 days, he visited me in a dream. And it was man, it was so transformational. I ain't never felt, I mean, I was completely lifted of all that, guilt and sorrow and regret and things completely, immediately. But so I was just sharing that because that was kind of my experience of finally writing down my dreams after someone told me. So when you were saying that, I was like, I don't know, maybe she will, maybe she won't. But the fact that you were like, man, I dream all the time, and I was like, I can relate to that. So I don't know if maybe she will or not. So I was really glad to hear not only that you did, but then you had the same effects of what I was sharing. Like you'll remember so much more. It'll get deeper. So that's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well,
I do.
yeah. Thank yourself too. You doing the work. You're the one doing the work. Yeah, beautiful. So, are you keeping a glossary in the back of the different symbols that come up?
Actually, no, I just go to your website
Hmm. Yeah.
and and do that. But certain things like I don't know,
Hmm.
I just have such an impeccable memory. I know I should, but at this point, after I'm done writing the dream down, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I have to like take a break. So I make a point to remember. I store it in my memory bank. I do little exercises where I can literally take objects and things and like put it in certain areas in my memory. I don't know how to do that. I also have a good ability of bringing long term or certain things from my subconscious to my consciousness, but it's not strong enough to how I want it to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
It'll
working
get
on
there.
that as well.
Hmm. It'll get there. It takes time. You know what I mean? Progression. You know what I mean? You greater today than you were a year ago. You'll be greater next year than you are today. Keep putting in the effort. Um, yeah, I would suggest writing down, like, even if there is a symbol that's on the website, still put it
Okay.
in the very back of your journal. That way you have your own glossary. So you'll end up having all of the things that are on there, but also other ones as well that you can then, ask, and through email or on the Discord. Just, I mean, and you can just write, you don't have to write out the whole dream. Hey, what are these four symbols right here? They were in a dream for me. What are they? And then find out, write those down, in the where you're writing down your dream to interpret it, but also keep that glossary in the back. That way, you eventually build your own dictionary to have as a resource, and you don't have to go anywhere else. I mean, who you never know. I may be like, yeah, man, you know what? I'm tired of this life, man. Let me shut all this shit down. you know, and then you like, man, where the resource go? He could have left it up. He could have left it up for us.
I'm mad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you'll be
Yeah,
able to
you're
do
right.
it for yourself, and also through doing that, it will further ingrain the symbols within your own mind as well, which will then get you into a better place of understanding the actual language. Because it all the time I come across a symbol I ain't never heard. Not all the time, but now it's like a little rare, but it still happens regularly. Because you know, interpreting other people's dreams, people don't think like I think, you know, and I don't think like other people think. Nobody really thinks the same. So when you interpret so many other people's dreams, people are just going to have symbols that I never came across. And so through understanding the language, though, it's very easy to find out exactly what that symbol would mean. You know, and so by doing that for yourself, that's another added benefit to it is you'll even faster pick up on the language and the formation and function of it.
I wanted to, before I end, with mine, I wanted to also just pinpoint my eyesight has gone really good. Like I have astigmatism in my left eye, and
Mm-hmm.
I just see so much clearer in my sense of smell. Ever since you told me to start adding smell to my manifestations, like I
Mm.
smell everything now, and I don't think I like that.
Yeah, I can relate. I know what you mean. Smell's always been my weakest sense. So yeah. But speaking of eyesight with the astigmatism, it reminded me of one other thing to share. One of my very first students about like 9 years ago, it was a couple. It was my very first students, aunt and uncle. And they they were in the class and I gave them the eye exercise to do. And 2 months later, they both showed up with these glasses from like the 80s, it looked like. And I'm like, oh, y'all got some new glasses? And in the back of my head, I was like, y'all couldn't pick out nothing newer? Like, I mean, they were pretty old anyway, but I didn't know. They were like, no, we've been doing that eye exercise and we've noticed our eyesight, we couldn't really see anymore. And Gary had the idea that maybe our eyesight's getting better, and we went and picked out our old prescriptions. And now we can see through our old prescriptions, but our current prescriptions are no good anymore. So they've like improved their eyesight back to a level that they hadn't had in like 8, 9 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just by doing that eye exercise. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I forgot all about that until you mentioned the astigmatism. Nice, nice. Good, good. All right. Well, thank you. If anything else comes up, always feel free to bring it up. Let's create some space for anyone else that likes to share anything, ask anything, anyone at all. Got the chef in the building today.
Hey
Michelle, what's
guys.
going on?
Hi. Not much. I wanted to chime in and give my little updates for the past week.
Yeah, yeah.
So where do you want me to start? Give me a little
Wherever you would like.
So I already sent you my crazy dream, but I had replied back to I
Mhm.
had to keep and pasting it because my message was too long. But I don't know. When I have my dreams, I try to write down as much detail as possible because I don't want to forget like
Yeah.
little minor because you remember several weeks back I was telling you that or I was asking like, is it lucid dreaming if you, and you I asked you something about lucid dreaming and you were like, well, if you have to ask, you weren't lucid dreaming. And I'm like, but I don't really know, like, if I'm
Yeah.
lucid dreaming, but it feels like it's really clear. I have a lot of details in my dream, like I'm
Mhm.
there. You
Yeah.
know, I try to like when I wake up, if I'm feeling up to writing my dreams down, because
Mhm.
I don't always, because sometimes I mean I wake up throughout the night. I don't sleep straight through. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to do that one day, but I just don't. I wake up for every little twist, turn, bump, or thump in the middle of the night. And a lot of that probably has to do with some stuff that's happened in my life or whatever. But
Mhm.
so when sometimes I'm like, I don't want to get up and start writing about it because I know I'm gonna be up and then it's gonna make me more alert. I won't be able to go back to sleep for a while and I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
So I don't write all my dreams down, but I may have them. And then I remember that I've dreamt like earlier in the night, but I don't recall the dream that I'm having right before I wake up all the time.
Mhm.
But I remember some details if I don't write it down from the dream that I had like earlier in the night. So there's that. I had a dream last night and I meant to write it down and now it has totally slipped my mind. I'm so mad. But
It's okay.
write down all the details because I like to recall the details and some things may trigger me to remember something else. So I just can't shorthand it and like shortcut it and be like, oh, let me just write the symbols because then I feel like I'm going to forget some of the details of the dream and which may be significant to me. Maybe that's not necessary. I don't know. You tell me, but
Yeah,
um
I would strive. If this is what I would suggest for you, I would strive to be disciplined with it. And now, it's like just shared with somebody the other day. Being disciplined isn't just about doing it when you feel like it, doing it when it feels good, doing it when you have time. Discipline is about making sure that you do it every single time, no matter how
mhm,
you feel, no matter what the situations or environment. And so, what I mean by being disciplined with it is on the days that you normally would feel like writing it down and writing all of it down, yeah, do that on those days. On the days where you wake up and you're not really feeling it, and you don't have the time, that's when I would just strive to try to just shorthand it and just
oh,
get and even if you don't get the like even if you only have like 20 seconds, you know what I mean, before like shit is just really going and you're already jumping out just before you even get out of bed, just really think about, okay, what was the big picture of what was going on in my dream? Like for me, my dream last night, I was on the 10th floor of a hotel with my mom, and then I left to go connect with an old friend of mine, which I needed to connect with because I reached out to him today, and like it was just divine timing, obviously. So
mhm,
he probably reached out to me in a dream, or my attention was there. Who knows how it happened? But anyways, for me, it was like I was on the 10th floor with my family and my mom, and then I needed to leave to connect with an old friend, and that's the gist of the dream. I mean, I could sit here and talk for 20 minutes
mhm.
on what that dream what that dream was, but that was very quick and succinct, the big picture. And so if you just write that down, you can still get a whole bunch from that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Hotel, universal mind, the 10th floor, individuality and being at a whole new level of understanding who I am as an individual and maintaining that connection with superconscious mind, my own spirit along the way. And then my friend, he would probably be probably just disciplined and responsible. Because that's totally different from where it used to be, but that's how I see him now, is like very stable, I guess.
Mhm.
Stability, physical stability. And so really connecting more with that inner stability of my own self. And so, I mean, I can get just as much from the dream with all the details as with just that real simple one sentence big picture. So on the
Okay.
times when you don't really so pretty much all the days where you're not able to write it down, fill it in with that. And then
Okay.
that way you can be disciplined, and then you won't lose any momentum that you're picking up on from not filling it in.
Okay. I'll do that. Cause
Yeah.
I sit there, write this dream. I'm going back to sleep. So I'll try to do better. I mean, I need to be consistent with it. But
Well, let me
yeah,
ask you this: why do you want to remember your dreams and write them down in the first place?
because I want to tap into my subconscious mind. I want to know try to connect the dots between my wake state and my sleep state and
Mhm.
tie everything together and see where I am.
Yeah, and what'll that do for you?
It'll help me to be able to understand like what's going on in my life and why I'm going through some of the things or why I may be struggling with some of the things that I'm struggling with. And it may answer some questions that I have about the direction I want to go in my life and some things that I want to do, but have not taken the steps or measures to start or initiate at this point.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
need some clarity.
So what would that understanding and clarity then do for you?
It will help guide me on whether or not to make a certain move or not, or to make several moves or decisions in my life.
Okay. So anytime that it feels like it's difficult, and I'm so glad this came up because this is something I definitely should have mentioned when with Santana's question. But any time that this comes up, like where it's difficult to like, oh, I don't really want to write it down. Bring all of everything that you just said back into your mind. This is what you will benefit. This is how you will benefit from it. Not only
Mm-hmm.
will you have more subconscious awareness, not only will you have a stronger relationship with your subconscious mind, which is the mind that your soul uses. So you'll have a stronger relationship with your soul mate. You know what I mean? And then you also will gain more understanding and clarity. And not only will you gain more understanding and clarity, you will have more guidance on and answers on exactly what you need to do, which will then eliminate the biggest barrier and obstacle that's in the way of you achieving the things you want and becoming the person you want to be, and living the
Mm-hmm.
life you want to live. So that because that's your purpose, your personal benefit. Purpose is personal benefit. So willpower is built on purpose. How you strengthen your willpower is through strengthening your purpose. So the more you can bring that purpose into the forefront of your mind, then the more willpower you'll have accessible to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you strengthen, or no, I'm sorry, willpower is strengthened by desire. The stronger of a desire that you have to do the thing, then the stronger your willpower will be. But desire is built off of purpose. I just went straight back to the source. So
Okay.
because if you wake up, it's like, oh, I don't really want to do this. Let me just go back to sleep. Boom, you go back to sleep. But if you're like, oh, I don't really want to do this, that's because you don't have very much of a desire to do it. I don't really desire to do this today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas, oh, you wake up from another dream, oh, I desire to write this one down, you know. And so when you don't have that strong desire, how do you then strengthen the desire, which will then strengthen the willpower, is reminding yourself of the purpose. Okay, you know what? I want to have the clarity. This will bring the clarity, even if it's not like an epic dream. It's still going to hold the answers. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times just a random stranger, a person I don't even know, on one of these lives or in a little Twitter space, person I have nothing, I have no clue who the person is. They've only shared, and then they only share one symbol, not even a whole dream, just one symbol. It's like, oh, okay, this one symbol means this, and this. Oh my God, how do you know what's going on with me? I don't. I had no clue. So even if it's not a big epic dream, you can still garner that clarity and understanding that you're looking for.
Okay.
And by strengthening that relationship, it's going to be so key to everything else in your life. Not even like spiritual and metaphysical type goals, but anything in your life. The stronger of a relationship you can cultivate with your own self, with your soul, then the deeper relationship that you can have with others, the deeper relationship you can have with a partner, the deeper relationship you can have with your children. And so it's very key to keep that relationship with your inner self, your soul, your spirit as primary. And that's the best way to do it, because that's when it's most directly communicating with you, where the communication is actually getting through, is through your dreams.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me in your response to me the other day,
Okay, yeah.
keep my
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So that was really key. I mean, I read that like 2 or 3 times, and
Yeah.
I'm still gonna again and keep breaking it down, but it was very helpful. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're
So
welcome. Very welcome.
I'll do I'll do better because at one point, like I forget, like the first or second week when we were doing this,
Mhm.
um, we were doing something. I don't remember what we were talking about, but remember I stopped having dreams for like a
Yeah.
minute. What
Yeah.
happened? Vivid dreams. And then all of a sudden I wasn't dreaming at all. And it was just weird. And now I've gone back to dreaming. I haven't had any
Mhm.
problem with that, but I just
Good,
need to
good.
be more writing it down. And I
Mhm.
know I'm dreaming every night because I can remember, oh yeah, I had a dream, but now what was it about? So I'm gonna do better with that.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've already experienced it where, you can get up, wake up from a dream and then get up and go through the day. And like you said, I don't even remember. I know I had a dream. I know it was a powerful one too,
Yeah.
because I remember the feeling I had with it. But I don't remember it. But then when you do write down the dream, it could be 18 days later. And somebody asks
Yeah.
you, wait, you told me about a dream once? Yeah, yeah. This is exactly what happened. And all you did was write it down. And all of a sudden it's so much more ingrained in your mind. You can remember through the whole day. I mean, I can recall back in full detail dreams I've had 10 years ago. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when I was talking about my friend's visitation dream, the third one I ever wrote down. Man, I can tell you the striped shirt that he had on with blue and white stripes. I can tell you exactly where we were at in his parents' house. The wooden chair. I could pull up a little color wheel and point out the exact tone of brown that the chair was that he sat in.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, his hair was I've never had long hair, so his hair was about this long because he always had like long hair, like he was like a little skater kid. And, I mean, that's just I can tell you every detail of that dream. But that was a visitation dream. I can tell you the first dream that I wrote down. It wasn't very long. There was like a little shack in a red Corvette that I was riding in, and we got out the car and walked around to the back of the shack. Next to the shack, there was a wood pile, and by the time we got to the back of the shack, I woke up. That was the very first dream I ever wrote down over 10 years ago. And so just the mere fact of writing it down completely transformed. I mean, this is before I was doing any concentration exercise, any memory exercise, every day, before all of that. And I can still remember it, so, and I'm just sharing that because I'm sure you can already experience that, and so
Yeah. A couple of
just
dreams
wanting to
that
share all of these things to help you to have more understanding of the purpose, how you'll personally benefit from doing it, because that's what will help you to have the willpower to where then it becomes an easy thing, because the more willpower you have, the less you feel like you need it, because it's just naturally easy. The person who's been going to the gym every day for 3, 4, 5 years, it like they have just such a strong willpower that it feels like they don't even need it. It's just a natural thing to go to the gym, versus the person who's like hasn't been in 8 years, is 90 pounds over their ideal weight, and is like, I need a lot of willpower to get there. They're very aware of how much willpower they need to make it through the front door.
Mhm.
You know?
Like, I to the gym, I have a little trampoline here and some weights over in the corner, and I still need
Yeah.
willpower to make 'em terrible. It's like no excuse. I moved them from the basement
Yeah.
and moved them up to my like, I have no excuse now, and I still don't do anything. So
Yeah.
I can understand that.
One of
I'll
the
do
biggest
better for
things is make sure to incorporate the ego. Like me, I'd probably still be smoking cigarettes if it wasn't for incorporating the ego. When I was 24, I started playing uh uh semi-pro football, right? And very first practice, I I didn't smoke that day. Like that it was like tryouts. Very first day, I didn't smoke no cigarettes or Black and Miles or anything. And and we go to practice, and man, I'm dying the whole time. And then near the we're almost to the end. And we're doing these bear crawls, and right as I crossed the line after like the fourth one, I thought to myself, okay, if he has us do anything else, this semi-pro shit ain't for me. It's not for me. If we do a single more thing, I'm a Taurus. So I'm fixed on it now. I fixed my mind on it. If we do one more motherfucking thing, this just ain't for me. That's it. And then as soon as the last person crossed the line, he's like, all right, bring it in. I said, oh shit, this shit's for me. All right, bet. But and I never smoked ever since then. And but the only reason is because every single time that I thought, like the next day, first morning, as soon as you wake up, one of your first things, light up a cigarette, let me light up a joint. Let me roll me up a blunt. As soon as I woke up, had that first thought, my second thought immediately after was, and I ain't trying to get burnt out there on the field. I ain't trying to get toasted in front of everybody, And I was very well aware that my ego was the reason, but the ego is the motivating factor. It's there to push you forward towards your goals. And so I was like, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. So every single time, as soon as I thought, I'd be seeing somebody, because when you first quitting cigarettes, you notice everybody that smoked. Man, they just pulled out a cigarette. I wonder if they got some extra ones. It's so funny because it's only like times like now I even remember that was even a part of my life. But that's the only reason, because every single time, the only thing that got me through it was, I don't want to get burnt out there. We got a game this Saturday. I ain't trying to get toasted and then I get pulled from the game because I can't breathe. Like, no. What am I out there for if I ain't even in the game?
Right.
So using the ego in those times also really helps. With the writing down the dreams, that's not really I don't know, maybe there's a way you can kind of incorporate it in a different way. It's not really such a public viewpoint kind of thing, but it's ego is all about identity. So if you can kind of use the ego in a way to help motivate you to get there, like, yeah, I want to be someone who is very in tune with their dream and understand exactly what my inner self is telling me. I want to know that. And the more I write down my dreams every night and find the interpretation, the faster I'll understand this language and can be that person and can be that person for others. You know what I mean? Because I would love nothing more than everybody, single person in here, a year from now, they're just able to share anybody what their dream means. Their children come to them, Mom, I just had a dream, instead of saying, oh, it was just a dream, which is only going to instigate them to do the same things that we did, which is forget our dreams and push our dreams away because we were told whenever there was a scary one, it was just a dream, as in it has no significance. Throw it from your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a way you can kind of utilize the ego. Like, you know what? Yeah, I want to be a more dynamic mother than anyone I've ever experienced this in a whole different way through like kind of like this, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that like I've been battling my egos for like the last week or so. I don't know. I've been struggling, but I've been using it as motivation, like you were saying, to like try to tap in and see where's that thought coming from and challenging some of the things that come into my mind. But I do want to say that since we did that breath work exercise,
yeah,
I don't know. Like I'm always tired because my life is absolutely, if I told anybody in this group like what my life was like, and I sent it to you in that response. I don't know if you ever.
I didn't get a chance to see the response yet. I saw that you responded, but I didn't get a chance to see it yet.
It's some details in there. You're gonna be like, what? And people would not believe the stuff that I've been through. But nonetheless, what I'm saying is I am tired all the time. And I have every reason to be tired. I hate the fact that I'm tired because I have a job where I have to focus and think and problem solve all day long. And so I relied on coffee for about, I ain't gonna say a year because I started drinking it like last October for the first time, just to get me through the day and get me in a better like headspace and get me more energized because I just felt like I was dragging all the time.
Yeah.
I'm awake, but I'm not a really alert until like 11 or mid
yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody, and if I didn't have to, I wouldn't. That's the kind of attitude I had. But now, like I stopped drinking coffee. I think I told you I was trying that mud water stuff, but it
I was always curious about it until you threw out your review.
I was very happy you said.
Huh?
No, I was very happy you said that about the mud water because I heard you say that last time. Because I've been wanting to try it, so I thought I would have the same like effect, that it wouldn't be strong enough for me.
Maybe I'm just not doing it right. I mean, I followed the directions. I tried it.
Santana said she was about to recommend it.
No, did she drink it? Did you drink it because you have experience with it? Because I would even double it up. I would like do an extra half a scoop. It didn't do
maybe
anything.
maybe the secret is put a little squirt of agave in there.
I actually make my own. I do. And if you add this, if you strengthen it, the black tea strength with it, which is a chai masala. I have a recipe that I can share with you guys if you're interested. But
throw it in the chat.
Yeah. I have a lot of
Discord for us.
Cool. So, because I problem solve a lot in my job as well, because I deal with trauma, like helping people with trauma and things. So I have to have that balance between being tired, because my mental state will be overwhelmed because all I'm doing is thinking of problems and creating solutions. So, being analytical all the time is tiring. So I'll definitely give you guys the recipe.
Yeah.
I moved on.
Have to be alert in that.
I moved on to matcha tea, and it's been doing me wonders.
Matcha tea is real good too. I just like the process. I like the process.
Yeah. Y'all should try a matcha latte.
Yeah. I haven't had one of those in a while.
I make that every morning. Nice. So What I was
Well,
saying
we might
was,
have to try it out, Jay.
yeah,
We might have to
let's,
try it out.
let's share. And
Sure.
I'm not on my mug water tin, mostly because it costs $40 a month. So I need somebody can't waste that. But
Yeah.
but
And I don't know if it's working, but I know I'm drinking it.
right. Maybe it's something subtle and it's helping me with my focus. I just don't feel it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one has worked good for me.
Okay, yeah, some good matcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
matcha
Japanese matcha. Yeah.
is good. I'm hooked on that now.
Yeah,
So
that's that Mr. Miyagi tea.
yeah.
That thing works. That works.
Real. All my life, I wondered what Mr. Miyagi little secret serum was, man. Until I first saw somebody make some matcha tea. I said, "Oh, hold on, that's what he was doing, making some matcha tea."
Wax off. Daniel-san. So there's that. But I was saying that after our breath work exercise, that I have not felt fatigued like that and tired. I don't know. And I also feel like for some reason, like my vision is sharper. Now I wear glasses and contacts. Okay. So
Yeah,
I get a
yeah.
little, but I feel like even when I was wearing glasses and contacts before that, I would have like little issues with my eyes. Like it'd be blurry, or I just didn't feel like I was seeing as sharply as I wanted to. And I was just driving to and from work today, and I was like, wow, I can really, I'm seeing pretty good today. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? I've been seeing really well lately. Like, And then the energy level is elevated. Like I don't feel tired. I get up in the morning, I feel rested. Um, and it carries on throughout the day. Like I'm not having that nagging fatigue. Like it's to the point where it was irritating. Like, oh my God, I like just need to lay down for 2 hours in the middle of my day just to rejuvenate myself. And I don't feel that way anymore. And the last thing that I've noticed is that it may have been a little bit before we did the breathwork exercise, but I've noticed since then that I have had multiple synchronicities, like back to back all day long,
Yeah.
all the time. Most especially recently with the number 333. I keep seeing 333, and there was one occasion where I saw 3333, but I just keep seeing. I'll look up at the clock and it'll say 333, or
Yeah.
I'll look at tag or something, and I just keep seeing 333. And before that, I was seeing different numbers like 555. I would see 222, 111, 1111. It has just been happening like consistently over the past 2 weeks, and it's kind of like, okay, I can't even ignore it because this is very obvious. Like
Yeah.
something, I'm being told something, I need to pay attention. So I've been tapping into that and trying to pay attention and be mindful. And I'll just take a little pause whenever I see those numbers and just try to take a minute, take a deep breath and like reflect and just at least take a minute to think on it. And then I'm like, okay, maybe something will be revealed to me, because I have been doing like brief meditations, nothing like really long or in depth. And I've just been asking for guidance and asking for, communication from, my higher self, my spirit guides, and from the universe. And I feel like I've been getting that feedback through these synchronicities. And then the last thing I'm gonna say about that is 2 times within the past day, I have thought about somebody and they called me or sent me a text message. And I was just like, this is crazy. Because because just when I feel like I'm not really accomplishing much, or like I'm not doing something right, or like on the right track, then I'll get like confirmation. Oh, that's so cool. Cause that happened to me just at lunchtime today.
Yeah.
I text somebody, an associate of mine. I sent her a text message and was like, hey, what's going on? Just checking in or whatever. And she was like, I'm actually on my way to you. And I hadn't talked, like, what? That is crazy.
Strengthening that intuition. Yeah.
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 And
Beautiful.
I fell asleep to a guided meditation with communicating with your higher self. And the night before that, I like did an intuition or third eye meditation, and was just kind of focusing my energy on my third eye.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's just really pronounced right now. So
Nice. Good. Yeah. What have you been, did you write down you had that 10 most wanted list, right?
Oh yeah, I did that a while back though.
Okay. You still reading it every day?
Oh God, no. I haven't looked at I'm just being honest. I
No,
have
it's
not
fine. It's fine.
I have not looked at that since I wrote it, actually.
Yeah.
I need to go because I have everything in just one book. I need to go back and look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, read that every morning and every night. Every morning
Okay.
and every night.
Yeah.
But one thing that's happening with the breathing is the revitalization. You have more vitality that you've restored and
I
that
feel like
you're maintaining. Yeah, yeah, it's powerful, powerful. The breath is very powerful, and so that's beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful. But
insane.
with you talking about seeing all of the threes all the time, three represents creation, and so I was just wondering what your relationship is with your manifestation power, which you're probably manifesting more, but if you had been, or if you do begin again incorporating that 10 most wanted list, then you will have more direction in exactly what you're manifesting, so because that's the power of that list, right? The subconscious mind, it's duty. The whole reason it clocks in and it never clocks out is to fulfill the desires of the conscious mind. So we're always manifesting. All of us are always manifesting all day long. We're manifesting every aspect of our life, every aspect of who we are and who we evolve into with each passing present moment as it evolves. And so by and the subconscious mind is doing it, but mostly it's because of what we're unconsciously thinking, right?
Mhm.
And so by creating that list and reading it every day, it's like sending out a memo every single morning and every single night. Hey, subconscious mind, out of every thought that I think throughout the day, I just want you to know these are the 10 things that are the most important. And out of these 10 things, this thing here at the top is of the utmost importance.
Mm.
You're giving it the direction, because it's clocked in. Its job is to fulfill the desires of the conscious mind. Like you at work, right? Imagine if I don't know what kind of work you do if you have any employees that report to you, but even if you don't, just imagine if your company came to you and said, hire, or I do remember what work you do, you told me. But imagine you had to hire a new employee that is supposed to work directly for you. And then from the moment you actually hire them, you don't tell them anything about the job. You don't give them anything to do. You don't train them on a single thing at all, ever. After a year, how effective do you think that employee is going to be? I mean, they'll probably be working because they're getting paid. They're getting paid. They're doing something.
Right.
But as far as achieving things that you desire for them to achieve when you first set out and hired them, probably nothing. Maybe a little something because they're watching. They're following you around, watching, trying to figure out what they need to be doing. Okay, maybe I should. Okay, they on their computer. Maybe I should be on my computer. Okay,
Mm.
what's this program on here? Okay, let's run that. This is just a bunch of phone numbers and people. Maybe I should call one of these. Hello? Can I buy something from you? I'm supposed to be buying something from you. Oh, you are? What do we sell? So, I'm just laying out that example to help illustrate how powerful it can be by giving the subconscious mind clear direction. And so that's what the power of that list is for. Yeah, it
Okay.
is great to kind of bring it to the forefront of your mind and kind of physicalize it, but also then you want to take that list and continue to read every day. And as you're reading it, if there's something on there, like maybe when you go back to it, you might look and be like, oh shoot, this number 8 already manifested. Ooh, let me cross
Mm.
that off, make you a new list. You know what I mean? Or as you're reading it, maybe 3 days in, you're like, you know what, this number 6, I don't really want that no more. You know what? Let me scratch that off and put something else in. Or maybe you're reading it and that is the list you want, but you're like, you know what? Actually, I want this more than this. I need to bump 7 up to 3 and kind of rearrange it a little bit. Make you a new list. And not only is it giving clear direction to the subconscious mind on what you want to produce in your life, it also is going to give you clear direction, your conscious mind, your waking mind, clear direction on how you've been using your energy. You know what I mean? If you go through a whole entire day, especially 2 days in a row, and you read your list at night for 2 days in a row, you realize, you know what? All day today and all day yesterday, I haven't done a single thing towards any of these 10 things. So that means one of two things. either one, I truly don't desire these things as the topmost 10. There's something that's more important than these 10 things. Or two, I've been mismanaging how I've distributed my energy throughout the day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, most of the time that is, but sometimes it's like, you know what, actually there is something I need to be putting on here. Because sometimes it is that, I've been spending the last 2 days more focused on this. Maybe, yeah, this actually is more important than some of these. It needs to go on the list somewhere on here so that I can reduce the amount of energy I need to put towards it, because stuff is naturally manifesting for it on its own. But yeah, usually it is that we're kind of not really putting enough energy towards what we're truly desiring.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
get a little distracted, like you were saying in your response to me, like it's a distraction. Keep telling myself it's a distraction. I just need to get
Yeah.
back on focus and stop playing. So
Yeah.
but that's about it. Was there anything else that I didn't touch on? Like I talk about my dreams and like my updates and stuff. I think that's about
You've
it.
been doing any concentration exercises?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, I don't think that I did the candle, but I was watching one of your YouTube videos. I try to watch and follow when you put new videos up there, and you were talking about follow your breath, like do watch your breath. And so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did that for brief periods over the last week or so. And I like that because it gives me something to look at, something to focus on. And then I'm more intentional with it because I'm looking at that. The candle I didn't get to do within this last week, but I was following my breath, and that
Mhm.
I like. I like
Yeah,
that a lot.
yeah. Okay. That reminds me of something I'm gonna go get for all of you all that I haven't shared with anybody yet.
Exclusive.
Yes.
Real quick, I just wanted to share with y'all one thing that I do that helps me at least with writing down the dreams. Um, I do this on a regular basis anyway, but I'll just record it on my phone. So I'll just press record on my phone and I'll just say it into my phone. And
Oh,
yeah, and then later on, to be completely honest, I have a bunch that I've never written down. It's just recorded on my phone. But some I'll write down, like if it's real OD.
okay. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
And
an exclusive.
recipe.
All right. So this book has done so much more for me than any book ever. This will always be my all-time favorite book ever. Ever. I would be, oh man, I would be so grateful if I ever found a book that is more valuable to me than this one. I said before I open it up, it's 112 techniques. And the techniques they're tantric techniques. Now, most people associate tantra with what's the word?
Sexual energy.
Kama Sutra. Yeah. Most people associate the word tantra with Kama Sutra because Kama Sutra are all tantric techniques, because the word tantra is Sanskrit for technique. But it's 112 tantra. I mean, there are actually, I think there are like 2 or 3 in here that are sexual, but it's all for finding your center. Out of the 112 techniques, there is one that is super synced up for each of your individual consciousness. So like what the author talks about is going through and just reading each one and just play around with it for a day or two and then move on to a next one until one hits you where it's like, oh shit, this is the one I need to do. Right. And and uh and then you do that one for 30 days and then see what happens. But anyways, um the breathing technique that I came out of this. I mean, I found this book when I very first started with metaphysical stuff, like very first started. Like I was sitting at home one day and I was like, man, I need to get some books on this stuff. So I just got up and drove to the bookstore, went to the bookstore, and I looked around I went to like the little metaphysical section. Metaphysical wasn't really that hot of a term, so it just said spiritual section. It was like a bunch of Bibles and stuff. But then there was one little small section of like dreams and tarot and stuff. And I looked at every single book on that shelf, and I bought 3 books. One was The Four Agreements by what's his name. One was The Alchemist. One was something else. I never even read it. I got like 3 pages in. I was like, this is not what I'm looking for, like real deal shit, not this, sugar coated shit. And and the other was this book, which, oh my God, it changed my life.
Come on with the suspense.
Hold on. I gotta lay it out for you first. And yeah, I mean, it's exclusive just because I haven't told anybody on it, but it's not that I like try to hide it from anybody, because I mean, I've bought this book for at least 4 different people before. And yeah, anyways, I share it with everybody, but I'm just waiting until I have more of a following to put it into the meta books on like the TikTok and social media so that it can reach more people. But I'm realizing now I can always just repost it. But but anyways, yeah, y'all need to get this book.
Every book you tell us, I go and get, and I'm still like trying to work through it. I don't even.
Well, this isn't one. I mean, this is going to be the biggest one out of all of them, but it's not one that you have to like read through. You can just randomly open a page and read just 3 paragraphs, and you'll get so much from it. And the main thing about this book is that you're going to have to use your intuition and discover the title for yourself. So, anyways, moving on. No, I'm just playing. Here you go.
No. Hold on. What's the name of that?
Hold on. Let me turn off this thing.
Way too much.
Oh, can you see it? Oh shoot, my camera backwards. How do I turn off there we go. The Book of Secrets. It was backwards, but you can kind of read the Book of Secrets by Osho.
It's not backwards anymore.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. It looks backwards to me. Book of Secrets by Osho. Yeah, man. I remember. So after I got this book, I randomly met this person who gave me the book about the hand chakras, right? And I did all the hand chakra stuff. Well, in the 3rd section of that hand chakra book was about astral projection, and I don't know if any of you saw the video where I shared about drinking the water and then you'll project off, right? It'll help you.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I learned that from, was in that book, right? And I'd already had this book for a few months, and when I did that, I laid down. It's like 3 in the morning, and my feet started lifting up, and then a question popped in my mind, like, how do I get back if I want to come back early, right? Like, I'm about to leave. How do I come back? And I already read that whole book, so I know it's not in that book. Out of everybody I know in my life, they all asking me questions, so they don't know nothing more than me. So I know of nowhere to get the answer to this question. And so that's when I really realized I need a teacher, right? And so I was like, man, hey, the dude who wrote this book, Osho, I know he has an ashram in India. I'm sitting here like real deal. I'm looking around at my apartment. I'm like, I can sell all my stuff and sell my truck. Probably have about like $3,000-$4,000. That'll be enough to get me there, and then I'll have a year or so to figure out how to get back. Like, I don't care. So then I hopped up, went over to the computer, started typing up, looking. This dude died in 1996. But everything worked out for me. But essentially what I'm trying to say is like this book is powerful. So much that you'll receive. But there's 7 breathing techniques in the very beginning that you might really want. So like here, I'll just read them. I'll just read a couple.
I can't pick it up.
This one. Watch the gap between 2 breaths. And then he goes into the whole book, the whole entire book. This is how thick it is. The whole entire book is literally just him talking to people and answering their questions. He'll give the technique, and then he'll talk about the technique. And then after 3 techniques, the next day, people came in and would just ask questions like, you said this and this. What does that mean? And he's really funny too. So there's a lot of funny shit in here too. Like, he has a bunch of stories. Really funny. Anyway, hold on. So first 7. Yeah, and then watch the turning point between 2 breaths. Watch where the inhale turns into the exhale and the exhale turns into the inhale. Watch the fusion point of the two breaths, where the two breaths connect. Be aware when breathing stops. So that's a whole technique. He goes deep into that. Focus your attention on your third eye, which is really funny because I read that technique and I practiced it for a day or two. And then after I figured out I needed to find somebody to teach me this stuff, I found out he died. Within 3 days, a friend of mine that I worked with, who was a Mason, me and him would talk all the time, but it would be more like, because he can't share nothing with me. You know what I mean? So it would just be like him asking me what I'm learning. I would share with him what I'm learning, and he would either be like, yeah, that's some good stuff, ain't it? Or he would be like, hold on, tell me some more about that. Hold on. Like it's some shit he ain't come across yet. And he's like, yeah, give me the keys. but he's sworn to a certain thing. He can only access the knowledge in a certain way. You know, and so he within 2 days, he came to me and he said, hey man, there's this school of metaphysics. You might want to check them out that I came across. And then that's when I called up the dude. He interpreted a dream for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, sign me up. I'm writing this shit down today. I'm starting to write down my dreams today. All that happened within like a week's time. But anyways, I was just saying all of that to say, like 8 weeks into that program, they gave me a meditation that I think I've shared with you all about the putting your attention on your brow chakra. And then, if thine eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light. That's what Jesus said. And you'll find out what that truly means if you do practice putting your attention on your brow chakra for a long extended period of time over time. Well, it was funny because then I had this experience after like 6 or 7 weeks of that. It was very transformational experience. And I came back and was reading this and was like, oh shit, that same exercise is in this book. There's so much stuff. I mean, you'll probably come across stuff that you've heard of in different places because this is ancient. This is this guy didn't come up with these 112 techniques. This is ancient Hindu techniques, and so he's just sharing what the 112 are and he's explaining them. Like actually that brow chakra one, oh man, what's his name? I forget his name. One of the Greek teachers came and learned from one of the Hindu masters who had the 112 techniques. That just happened to be the technique that he gave to him, and then he took off. And that's why like a lot of Western stuff is so focused on the third eye, because it all derives from that one guy. I forget his name. Hold on, he says it in here. Man, I used to know, but it's been so long since I read that part. Yeah, because I want to find out. Oh well, I don't know. I forget. But he was pretty much like the first person to bring a lot of metaphysical things to. It wasn't like Socrates or Aristotle, Plato. Yeah, Aristotle. Yeah. It was someone else who taught them. But anyways, that's why like so much in the West is all focused on the brow chakra, because that's the only technique out of the 112 that dude got from him and took back to Greece, and then that spread out throughout everything else in the West. But anyways, there's a ton of stuff that you'll come across in that book that you probably have already heard of and things like that's how I really got so deep into lucid dreaming, like because one technique on there that really fascinated me was put your body to sleep and keep your mind awake. That's what the technique is. That's what the technique is. Put the body to sleep, keep your mind awake. And then he described what it's doing. So then that's the ones who, like when I said he'll say just play around with them as you read them until you come across one that you feel is for you, and then do that one for 30 days. So that's the one I was like, oh shit, let me set this book down. I don't need it no more for the next 30 days. I'm doing this. And then that's when I was just start doing it. And then that really opened up a lot as far as like lucid dreaming. And then later on with astral projection, when I found Robert Bruce's book, I was able to build upon what I had already done with this. I learned a lot of techniques from that book to then incorporate with that, you know. So this book, man, get you this book, man. Get you this book for real. For real. Definitely.
I'm getting that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure
Was
somebody on here already ordered it. Huh?
Thich Nhat Hanh?
Thich Nhat Hanh. Yeah, that was one of his books. I got that same day when I got his book.
That's not the one you were talking about that brought it to the West?
No.
Swami Vivekananda?
No. No, that's more like, so Yogananda Paramahansa Yogananda, he brought yoga to America, like that West.
That's
But
what
I
was
mean,
about.
yeah, I mean like pretty much just like spirituality in general, like to like Europe, like before before America was that, well, before it was America, when it was just native lands. And there was a bunch of us there. And other natives further west. Man, hold on, man, because Pythagoras. Yeah, Pythagoras. That's who it was. Pythagoras. Yeah. So
the
Pythagoras. What'd you say?
Numerology?
Huh?
He came from numerology. Pythagorean theorem, Pythagoras.
Well, to the west, yes. Numerology and astrology, the oldest forms that we have all come from Hindu. The Vedas is the oldest book that we have. It's the oldest religion. As far as like the ancient knowledge, it's the oldest living knowledge. Because there's a lot of Egyptian knowledge. It's even more ancient, but it's having been resurrected. This is kept the same chain, but that's what a lot of the Vedas come from, anyways. A lot of that knowledge comes from there, anyways. Yeah.
I'm my fault. I'm actually in EA and entered apprentice for masonry. So
okay, nice.
And I'll share this because this could be shared to anybody that goes to a lodge and request or something like that. And at the lodge that I'm at, it's a big lodge, so they have like an auditorium and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anybody who takes a tour can see the props that they have in this auditorium when they do plays and stuff. And just from the props alone, you can see how heavily influenced Freemasonry is by, ancient Egypt. Like everything.
Everything. Everything from the garments to the symbols to that. Yeah. It's real heavy. And that's why a lot of Masons are so heavy into Christianity and the Bible, because almost all the Bible is coming direct. I mean, the first books of the Bible were written by Moses, who was raised as the Pharaoh's son. So nobody understood the Egyptian spiritual culture and knowledge anymore in all of Egypt than Moses and the Pharaoh and his son, except for all the priests, because that's who taught. I mean, and so nobody understood that more. And then like our people, we was enslaved for what, 400 years? The Hebrews was enslaved for twice as long. And now I can tell you a little bit about some Yoruba, but that ain't because it was something that was passed down. It was something because a friend of mine who's from Africa is a Yoruba priest. And so we can't tell ourselves nothing about our culture, origination, and definitely religion and spirituality. So, they didn't know anything either. You know what I mean? He had to do that. That's why he came down from the mountain with the tablets, the 10 Commandments. And every single one of those commandments is if there were copyright laws back then, he would have been hit with a copyright by Ma'at, because they the 42 laws of Ma'at watered down. Let me take the top 10. I'm gonna take the top 10, the 42 laws of Ma'at, and give y'all that. You know what I mean? And everything in there. I mean, the creation story, everything up until that point that's in the Bible is directly from that, and a lot of the prophecies that ended up with Jesus. That's why the stories of Jesus is so synonymous to Egyptian stories and lineage.
And Jesus,
what do you say?
Jesus studied in India for a very long time too. That's something a lot of people may not know.
Yeah, a lot of people know that he studied in Egypt, but yeah, they didn't know that he also then went to India as well. Because him and his parents and John the Baptist and his mother all went to Egypt, and they were learning in the mystery schools there. And as Jesus and John the Baptist were being taught the lessons, Mary and John the Baptist's mother were being taught future lessons in order to teach them those future lessons after they left, so they could continue their learning. Well, then John the Baptist's mom was so scared of going back to Israel that they went into the woods. That's why John the Baptist was like a wild man. He grew up in the woods with just him and his mom, nobody else. You know what I mean? Learning these things. And so that's why he was such a wild individual. Well, Jesus, this prince from India came across Jesus and asked his mom, can we take him back and continue teaching him in India? And so then he did. And he was like a Buddha. And they were like, because that was 500 years after Buddha. They were like, man, where are you going? You got to stay. He's like, you know what? I got to go back and teach my people. And that's what he did. He went back and taught his people. And there's records in India of him coming back after the crucifixion, everything, and he ascended everything. He showed back up in India, and continued teaching there. I mean, but yeah, just to touch on what you were saying too.
Yeah, no, that's it's that a lot of the records that they have in India is actually a lot of the most verifiable proof that he actually was alive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but so they like to use it, but they also don't like to, because then it's also evidence that there was him living still on Earth after the supposed story ends. So it's like, we got proof, but we don't want people to know about it.
That's just like there's so many books that were left out of the Bible, and a lot of documents that weren't put in there. And I just always wonder, like, who made that decision? Like, who said, this is a good one to put in there. We're gonna leave this one out.
Whose version was it?
Right.
Most of us have. Whose version? King James.
Yeah. Is it even interpreted right? Because a lot of stuff can't be translated from language to language. So it's like,
that's the beautiful thing about it. Like in the Dream Interpretation Masterclass, we go over it. The universal language of the mind. You no matter how you're interpreting these things, it's still one image that is being interpreted. So the images are still in there. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's watched that week 3, the creation story, you can see exactly how the first 10 verses in the Bible is 100% the universal language of the structure of the mind. That triangle that I'll be bringing up, everything in there is laying out all of it. And I go through the whole entire thing and describe exactly how this is point. Like week 1, we're going to spend an hour and a half talking about this triangle and what it depicts. Week 2, we're going to talk about dreams. Week 3, we're going to talk about the language that we just learned in week 2, apply it to the first 10 scriptures of the Bible, and what it's going to lay out is everything we went over in week 1. And it's going to show you that I didn't just draw this triangle myself. The people where I learned it, they didn't just draw this triangle up out of nowhere. Like, this shit is ancient, you know what I mean? And it's here.
Yeah, I got all the way up to Ad Astra and watched the movie, and I think I watched that. I think I watched all of them.
Yeah.
5.
What'd you say? Oh, you waiting on? Yeah, no, I gotta edit. I gotta get that edited. I've realized I don't know if I'll ever be able to get around to it, so I just gotta hire somebody to do it. I've been looking on Fiverr for a little person I can just hire to edit that out for me, because I got like 6 like 20-minute YouTube videos that I recorded those back in like April, I think. I just ain't had time ever since to edit them. Like all my TikTok videos I need to put on all the other platforms. So I'm just gonna get somebody off like Fiverr to do all that for me. Get caught up. What do you say?
I said, get somebody to do your light work.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll figure it out.
Editing takes a lot of time. A lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, those first 3 weeks of the visualization course that we've done in here, and I ain't edited a single one. I've uploaded them for y'all to see, but I ain't edited a single one. And I ain't really in no rush to try to make time. I got so many other things going on. I mean, I mean, y'all know how far behind I am with how up to date I am on the Discord, because y'all's chats come first. And so, other than continue, like I try to definitely make sure I post, keep up with as much as I can with comments on TikTok. But that's just like, let me throw 3 emojis on here. Let me just say, all right, great. So that's real simple, easy, mundane. Not have to think about it. I can do that while I'm doing my other job. But these things I want to give my attention to. So yeah, you can definitely tell I'm caught up once if I'm caught up in the Discord and the emails. Because I had to take the free dream interpretation. I had to take that off my page because I got like 18 of them that I have not responded to yet. 18 people done sent me a free. Oh, he does free dream interpretation. No, apparently I don't.
Not right now.
Apparently I don't.
Time out.
Yeah. For y'all, I do, sure. Yeah, but I just ain't got time for it. I just haven't yet prioritized it enough to make time for it. I got time. We all got the same amount of time in the day.
Yeah, not enough. Came up with this schedule.
Who came up with this? We needed to be about another 2,000 miles away from the sun. Give us an extra hour or two.
Give us some extra days off. How about that?
Extra days.
I
just got an email from somebody from work, like literally like 10 minutes ago while we were on the call. And I was like, man, I think they need to take some of these classes. I'm like, why are they emailing me at freaking 10 at night? Like, you need to relax. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Jeez. Yeah, I get emails from my work. This phone been jumping off. I probably got like 5 or 6 since we've been sitting here. But I got licenses out in California and stuff, and Washington and Oregon too. So it's still like 6 o'clock there or something. Or I guess 8 o'clock. Yeah, Jesus, hold on. 12 emails since we've been starting. That's good. That's good. I've been waiting for them to finally send their documents in. So right. Those were good emails to see.
Yeah. I did have a question early about the dreams. One question I have is if you have any insight on like series of dreams. Because I tend to have like dreams that kind of connect. So then I'll have I have like a dream and then it's like, okay, I'll remember parts from the last dream that are connected kind of like in this series. And I have like a couple series kind of going on.
Yeah. So that also first pulls into even more value of writing it down. Because that, like, one, we've kind of talked, like, as far as writing it down, we've mostly talked about kind of like the immediate benefits of just being a regular individual, the benefits that you'll have from it. But in this aspect, we can talk about being a metaphysician and the benefits of that. And the reason I like the word metaphysician so much, I've kind of shared it here before, but I always love to say it again, just as a reminder, is it's a scientific term. And it's approaching it as a science. I'm going to be a scientist with this. I'm going to conduct my own experiments, collect my own data, and find my own results. Like most experiments and things that are run nowadays, it's pretty much just let me give the results of whoever's paying for this experiment what they want to hear. You know what I mean? That's why you got all these reports saying how beneficial alcohol is. Alcohol has such great health benefits. Yeah, because the alcohol companies is paying the scientists to run these reports. You know what I mean? Conduct these studies. So they want to keep getting those paychecks. Yeah, come back to me for some more reports like that. I'll keep them coming all day for you, buddy. You know what I mean? And so But anyways, conduct your own experiments to find out what's true for yourself. And so one of the best ways to do that is through collecting this data, right? So then you can really look at, you know what, I've had like 5 dreams in this same location, or I've had 5 dreams kind of doing this same thing that kind of progressed along. Let me go back. Let me go back and review. Let me go back. Like I haven't gotten to that point yet, but like 4 or 5 months, or well, really probably like 2 or 3 months from now, that's one thing I was planning on suggesting to the people who've been here for a while and writing down their dreams. Oh, okay, here's what you want to do. Here's an exercise for you to do in this next week or two. Try to do it within this next week. Go back and read every dream that you've written down. You know what I mean? And because that does so much for you. But anyways, if you have that documentation, you have that data, you can go back and review. Okay, this is exactly what was going on in this dream, and it happened on this date because I wrote down the date. Let me go back and maybe like sometimes I'll have to like look at my text to refresh my memory of what was going on exactly on that date. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the day I was talking to such and such about this. Oh, okay, this is what was going on that day. You know what I mean? And then that's where the memory exercise comes in, is you can pull back everything you did that day because you already did it 5 other times. But it'll be easier to then reflect back on each one of those 5 sequences to better understand if because it sounds like you're mostly talking about not like a recurring dream, but something that's kind of along the same theme or in the same place. And you can see like, okay, every time I'm in this world or every time I'm at this location, because sometimes like I'll have a dream, because it just happened a couple weeks ago where I had a dream where it was way back. Like, man, I was here in this place, I had a dream like 6 years ago, 4 years ago. You know what I mean? A long time ago. And at that time, I won't go back and try to find that journal. You know what I mean? When you got like 9 journals, I mean, it wouldn't really take quite that long, but it would, because you feel like it was 4 years ago, but it could have been 6, it could have been 5. But so me personally, I won't really do that at that time. I mean, if it's something where it's like 6, 7 dreams, then yeah, I'll try to see if I can locate them. But usually when that happens and that comes up, it's been pretty recent, within the last few months, so it's still within the same one book. And it's pretty easy to like flip through and see, because like I said, you write it down once, you're going to remember it. So you only got to really read like the first couple sentences of each one until you find, oh yeah, this was it. And what that does is that will help you to identify not only where you're at in the progression you've already made, but you'll see, what are the similarities? Okay, I was in the same place, so it's the same state of mind. So it'll help you to identify the state of mind that you were in yesterday, because it's happened frequently and you'll remember the different days. What was the same on all these days? Oh, this, or the same kind of sequences. So and that's one of the biggest things with writing them down and reviewing, is you can really see your progression, which will really help you to understand just how far along you are. Value of that will help you to better identify exactly where you are in the present moment, which will help you to have a better understanding of where you're going. You know what I mean? It's like, because if you're just standing around looking in a circle, it's like, what's going on? But it's like, you know what? I came from this way. I came from this way over here, and I've been going in the same direction the whole time. So maybe that means I need to keep going in this direction. Okay, I have clearer direction. Like you were talking about, Michelle, I have more clarity and understanding of where I need to go, what I need to be doing, and now I understand what's right in front of me and what I need to overcome, what my next steps are. So as far as like the kind of sequence or theme, that's where the value of that really comes in at, writing it down.
Got it. Yeah. And I guess something to just tie everything that that we've been talking about and then listening to you guys tonight. One of the biggest things for me is, I guess the best way I could describe it is belief and intent. So how you were saying before, what is your ultimate goal? You know what I'm saying? And remind yourself of those things when you come into those, times where you don't feel like doing it and stuff like that. One of the biggest things for me is, because I've always had very vivid dreams, and I could also tell you like the very first dream I could ever remember, and I was a young kid, and I could tell you still that right now. But because for so long I always thought or believed that it was basically something outside of me or something that was like being sent to me, like these messages. You know, I didn't understand or believe that it was something from inside. It was always like something outside coming in, just like kind of how regular religion is today. Like God, you have to go reach God instead of finding God. You know, connecting with God and stuff like that. So I think those two things for me like makes the biggest difference. I've shared with you before, like I've done a lot of different these techniques and stuff, but I just didn't know. And without that, like that belief that it works, it kind of dies after a hot second.
That belief will really help. It'll help further the type of experience that you have. And then that experience then strengthens your belief. And then that even stronger belief creates more direct experiences. And it's just this cycle until you get to a point where you've experienced so much that you then know. You know what I mean? And so that's why, you know, the universal law of believing and knowing is also called the universal law of manifestation. You know, and that because the believing and knowing aspect of it and the experience it within that cycle is what is going to is the source of manifestation.
That's a whole nother space. It's a beautiful space. Like it's
because it's like you know, like sometimes like and it's kind of been brought up here when I've mentioned different like affirmations to turn into mantras. You know, somebody will sometimes mention, yeah, but I don't believe that. You know, it's like okay, I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I have more than I need. But Tarak, I don't have more than I need. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how am I going to say that every day? I don't have more than I need. Exactly, and the fact that you don't believe it is telling us that that's exactly the thought that we need to be doing. Like, truly, because since it's something you don't believe, then because a belief is just thought you continue to think, then that means that we've got it spot on. We've hit a bullseye. You know what I mean? You need to start thinking it over and over to where then you cultivate that belief, and then that stronger belief will then force your environment to reflect that. And that's when you'll start seeing those changes. Oh, wait, you know what? I got $20 in my bank account for the last 2 weeks that I ain't needed. I ain't even touched on. I guess I do have more than I actually need. I've been scrounging to make sure I don't touch on that $20, but I guess I do have more than I actually need. And so, you know, through that, you then have a new experience. Because it's like, oh, okay, I've experienced it. I've experienced having more than I need. So I do believe it now. Before, I thought Tarak was crazy. I don't believe it. Now I've experienced it. I do have a level of belief. So now going forward and saying it every time, now every single time you say it, that thought has more power behind it. It has more energy behind it. And so then it's going to be more powerful and impactful, and your environment is going to respond even faster. And so then you have a new experience of, oh shit, man, I just got $300 out of nowhere. Like, damn, okay. You know what I mean? And then now you have an even stronger experience. And then, oh shit, I just, 2 months later, I just got a promotion. Man, okay. I don't even have, and I get to do less. Oh shit, on the back of the promotion, I just got offered a new job somewhere else. Okay, great. This is beautiful. You know what I mean? So now I know that I have more than I need. You know what I mean? I've had an extra $3,000 in my bank account for 8 months now. It ain't no question that I have more than I need. You know?
It starts to be real.
So. Yeah.
Oh no.
Exactly. So I just wanted to share real quick, and I'm gonna make it's not a long story, so I'm gonna make it short.
Fine.
But like you're saying, like it starts to become real. Like you take that first instance, and then once you're like, oh wait, okay, I see it now. Like it's real. Like I could touch it, kind of, right? And then you like you're saying, you believe that, and then just keep on building upon it. It starts to becoming realer and realer. And as I was saying, like I've been in these states before, but like the last 4 years have been like a super roller coaster. So it's like I divorced, and then I was flipping a house, and then that went sideways, and then I got another job, and then that went sideways, and then I got another job, and that went sideways again, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I just felt like I wasn't catching a break.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got in a real like doubtful pattern for a while. And I'm just really coming out of it now. And it's like, you know, getting back to these practices. And that's why I appreciate, you know, what you're doing so much. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, this stuff is too real. And you know, if you're doing it, I was like, I need to participate way more because I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is for facts.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, you've experienced, you know, the etymology of the word experience is observation as your source of knowledge. So since you've experienced it, you know it to be true. There's nothing nobody else can come to you and say on those things that you know to be true, to tell you any different. You're just gonna look at them like, oh, okay, sure thing, buddy. I mean, that's my big thing. Like on TikTok, somebody be like, your dreams and astral projection are absolutely different. You don't know what you're talking about. I just short thing, buddy. Give them 3 thumbs up. That's it. That's my go-to. Short thing, buddy. Okay.
Thanks.
You run with that. I don't know what to tell you at that point. I mean, I can't give you my experiences, so you just run off belief. And I ain't out here to convince nobody.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a peace.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like you could tell us you live in Tampa. You know what I mean? But your neighbor, you can't convince your neighbor that y'all live in Tampa if you don't live there. Yeah. He's like, man, I drive out here every day. This ain't Tampa, buddy.
Well, I don't know if y'all listen to the Breakfast Club, but Charlamagne says the craziest people in the world are from the Bronx and from Florida. I'm already from the Bronx, so I can't go to Florida. You know what I'm saying? Double crazy.
That's funny. That's funny.
But you could move to Florida because you wouldn't be from there. I mean, you would just be like from one of the crazy places, and to just move wouldn't be like, you know.
I guess it'd just be a familiar space. But now in Florida, that's a different kind of crazy. Them island boys.
Island boy.
Man.
I was gonna say something though.
Yeah.
All right. Because I can't really talk about this stuff outside of our group. I find that people aren't open to accepting a lot of this stuff and the thought processes that I have and the things that we can relate to on this. So I really appreciate this whole, you know, platform for us to be able to share stuff. Sorry for running my mouth so much tonight, but I do want to share. I was talking to a friend of mine probably about a month ago or so, and I was just reflecting back over like finances because that's one of the things that's on my top 10. You know, it's probably like number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
My second highest desire, but with the finances, I was thinking about last year. I had to relocate and come back home and stay with family because of a lot of things that had transpired. So I'm still here and kind of digging myself out of that this position and getting myself set up for the next phase of my life. But last year I decided that I was going to come back, kind of like hit the reset button, start over and see where I was going to go from there. And my kids, like the area that I live in, the school district is really bad. So I didn't really want to take them from an area where they had excelled and were like above grade level and then bring them back here and they would be like, because this is really bad here. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? So I decided I was going to put one of my kids, you know, into one of the schools that they got into. And then the other one, I didn't know what to do with her because she wasn't accepted. She wasn't old enough, wasn't qualified to get into the school. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I ended up paying for private school for her to go. I've never paid for private school a day in my life. Never thought I could afford to pay for private school for any one of my kids. And it was just like, all right, well, I'm here in this position and I have the opportunity, so I'm gonna make it happen. And not only was I paying for private school, I was paying for transportation for 2 of my kids to get to school because they weren't in this area. All of that totaled out to be like a mortgage payment. Let me just put it that way, on top of my other that I have. So I totaled it up and I was spending like thousands of dollars every month for education. And I actually made it through the school year. And it was amazing to me how much money I spent like $42,000.
Yeah.
$42,000? Like, that's people's salary sometimes.
Yeah.
42
Sometimes more than.
It was ridiculous. And so it's come the end of the school year, I made it through, and I was so thankful to pay that last tuition and last transportation fee for that month. Oh my God. I thought I was going to die. I was like,
you
if
was
I paid
balling that summer.
right.
No, I'm playing.
No, I was not. And that's what I was ready to say. Because after I was like, oh shoot, by the time May hits, that's my last payment for everything. I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna be good to go. We're going on this vacation. I'm gonna treat my daughter to a Puerto Rico trip. We're gonna do all this stuff, and I'm gonna have an overabundance of money. Yes, come on, bring it on. No, that is not what happened. And I was broke,
the need was gone.
Right. I was like, what the heck happened to all this money that I was shelling out every month? What is going on with my bank account? Why? My feelings are hurt right now. So I was just sitting back thinking to her like one day, like, why is it that I was spending all this money, like thousands every month to support my kids? And now I'm not spending anything, but I'm broke. What is going on? I wrote it down. I wrote it down multiple times, tried to map out like my spending, looking line for line through my bank statement. Like, what is happening? And then I was like, maybe it's my mindset and me thinking that I'm poor and don't have enough that keeps making it look like I don't have enough, because there's no reason why I should. Because first of all, I got a raise, because you were just mentioning the raise, having more money. I got a raise in June. Got a raise. So I'm not making less money. I'm not working less hours. I have more money and less money. I mean, I have more in my paycheck and less money. How is it this isn't making sense? So I just time to reflect on it, like, it must be the way I'm thinking about how I'm making money and what I'm doing with it and what I have.
Yeah. So instead of a mindset of not having enough, it's a mindset of barely enough. I barely got enough.
Right.
I got just enough.
I'm up here borrowing like money from my daughter. She makes $12 an hour. She get $48 a day. Let me borrow $20. Yeah, it was pathetic. And there was no reason for it. So finally I was like, wait, something is not right. So I started writing my stuff down. I started writing down and saying affirmations and doing all kinds of stuff to like talk myself into, I have an abundance of money. And now I do. Like you were saying, instead of having no money in your account, you got like $20 in your account you didn't touch. I have money in my account that I have not had to touch. And I have not been in that circumstance since I started doing that. I just thought I'd share that because it's crazy.
Yeah. Beautiful. And how's that feel?
Great. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I did go to school and getting all this debt for some reason.
But no, just hold that feeling and magnify that feeling. I mean, magnify, because the more, and also another thing as far as like money, again, any change that you want to see in your outer environment, you first have to make that change in your inner environment. So if you want to see more value, because money represents value, I mean, we exchange money for however much we value that. Then that's how we determine whether something is overpriced or underpriced, by determining its value in the equation of how much we value every dollar. Then if you want to see more value outside in your outer environment, you need to see more value in your inner environment. There's your inner your self-value and your self-worth will never change. It will never change. It's immense, tremendous. There's no possible way for us to even conceive how much value and worth we have. Right? Just like in our outer environment, there's also no way to really conceive how much money is out there. Mm-hmm. There's right now, as we're sitting here, there's trillions of dollars zipping around. Mm-hmm. I mean, I mean, look, I can go on here. I just exited a trade earlier because I'll be doing currency trades all day long too. But you can look, here's millions of dollars right now. Let's move this. Look at this. Oh man, it ain't showing. I'll bring it close to my. See? Oh, see it jumping? It's moving. Hold on. The bar's moving.
There you go.
So is that in Forex
Right.
or is that crypto?
Yeah, currencies. Oh, it's tanking. It's tanking. It's dropping. You can get in right now for a sale. It's dropping. If you want to get in for a sale, who knows? There's tons right now. There are tons of people that are making money right now, and there are tons of people that are losing money right now. Like right here, all the way back here, that was only like 30 minutes ago. You know what I mean? All of this, like, hold on, let me see if I can find out. Yeah. We started our live. We started our live right here. All the way back here is when we started the Zoom. So all this, just tons of money been made and lost. So I mean, there's trillions of dollars zipping around at any given moment. Like, and we say these numbers, but we can't even conceive what $1 trillion really is. Like, that's insane. It's insane.
I just see a good 500,000. That's all I need.
Exactly, and that's all you got to do is out of what's zipping around. Let me just have a little bit come fall.
Right. Without me having to work for it, this is what I manifest. Like, I don't want to have to work for it. Just let it come freely to me. Come on, I don't want to have to work. I put up no extra hours.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about it is it really is a flow. You know what I mean? It needs to flow in just as easily as it does out, which it already does. Like you said, it was flowing in and it was flowing out. You know what I mean? But however much you needed changed, but it still flowed in and out. So with your visualizations, not only see it flowing in, but also see yourself ensuring how it's flowing out. You know what I mean?
So what would that look like for a skill? Because I'm manifesting skill sets right now.
Skill sets?
Yeah.
What's the biggest skill set you're trying to cultivate?
Communication and learning how to make content for like videos like TikTok.
Okay. What's your ultimate goal as far as the videos?
Well, I want to be able to be for one, I think what's been holding me back is doubts of not feeling comfortable behind the camera and
Okay, well, hold on 1 second, because like we learned in the concentration exercise, and that's something we don't want our attention on is the doubts and worries.
Okay.
So there's no need to even explain them in this present moment right now, right? So let's remove our attention from that and put our attention back on what we do want. My question, what's the ultimate goal? Let's not worry about the obstacles in this present moment, but what's the ultimate goal?
The goal for making content?
Yeah.
I wanna show people how to eat. Like I wanna, like when I was telling you about how I wanna show as many people as I can. Like I'm a really good soul food plant-based
500, 5,000, 500,000, 5 million, 50 million.
As many as people I can reach. I'm not even gonna put a number on it because
let's just. I mean, what would satisfy you? Like if you were at 5,000, would that be enough, or would you want more?
I would want more.
Okay, 5 million. Would that be enough people, or would you like actively be wanting to get more?
I think I would want more because
okay.
I really
50 million?
That's a good number.
Okay, there we go. That's where we feel a little more satisfied. You can focus on other things as far as growing more people. Once you reach 50 million, you feel like you don't need to grow more people. Okay, so 50 million people, and feeling very comfortable. Sounds like in front of the camera, communication.
Would that fall under public speaking?
Public speaking, yeah, okay. So gaining public speaking engagements, which you can then turn around and use for 8 days of content. And so okay, so public speaking engagements. What else? What else would come from that? What else would be aspects of your life that would be relevant?
for the content, I guess I haven't put. I guess
Like a cooking.
I
What about like a cooking show?
yeah. So I was like I mentioned, like I'm been doing this. I took a break from making a cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doing lives, and showing people how to meal prep and stuff, and how to eat according to you, like stuff like it's so many diets that I've went through, like how to eat
Mm-hmm.
according to your blood type, how to eat according to if you have like high cholesterol. I'm just
Yeah.
really
Okay.
passionate and really strong about and very informative is how to clean your gut, parasitic cleanses, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So as far as how would you do it for something like that? Close your eyes for a minute, and if everybody else would also, let's all just be of service and benefit to Santana right here, and add our energy to this image. Okay. So Santana, you see yourself in your kitchen with your phone set up,
I'm
and you're
already here, y'all. I'm like cutting watermelon up right now.
okay. And just take a moment for a minute to close your eyes and use your inner senses, your astral senses.
Okay.
See with your third eye, your astral eye, your mind's eye, and see in your kitchen. You got your phone set up, you got your proper lighting, you got people there helping you, because if you got that much, you got people helping you. You know what I mean? There's maybe two cameras or something, who knows? But and you're describing and feel the feeling of fulfillment that you have for just how many comments are scrolling on the screen, for all the people that are just so grateful for what you're doing for them. You've already done in their life what you're, some people, oh, I'm new here. Everybody else, you just got a community of people that they just, oh man, you need to stick around for this. Okay. You answering you stopping what you're doing for a minute to answer a question, to somebody. Okay. And feel the heat from the pot, the steam. Feel it, grab the pot, the metal pot, grab the little wooden spoon in your hand, feel it. Feel the joy from it. You got an apron on. What color's the apron that you got on? you know uh what's the kitchen look like, because you might not be in the same kitchen that you in right now. 50 million folks, you in a different type of kitchen. Look at what kind of countertop is that. Look at the stone quartz countertop where you got a whole, you already got a chopping block infused into the countertop type shit. And chopping stuff up, getting stuff together. You already got some other stuff over here prep that you go over and grab. Or maybe it's the dish is done. So see the dish done, your favorite dish that you love making. See it right now, already cooked and done, and you're showing it to the people in the camera, smelling it, right? And you're giving your goodbyes. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming. Do this, and this. For more. My third cookbook's on the way. Be ready for it. I'm off to go talk to the University of Texas. I'm giving a talk over there. I'm on my way. And then see yourself hopping, getting your luggage together and getting everything together, hopping on a plane. See yourself sitting on a plane with maybe your friends or your family or something, going with your team of assistants, going with you, on your way. See yourself,
Don't forget that nanny.
yeah, getting picked up. You getting picked up from the airport. They laying out the carpet for you. They're picking you up from the airport. Feel the cool air inside the car that you're sitting in, the nice leather you're sitting on, and just the luxurious treatment that you're receiving. See yourself in the backstage, getting ready, and just relaxing, maybe doing a little breathing, a little meditating, just some. This is like a time where you finally have a moment to yourself. You're not needing to answer any questions here, respond to any emails here, or give any direction to anybody. This is like a time where you have space for yourself and to just really relax and get centered. And then now you kind of hear the knock on the door. You know what I mean? So feel the carpet as you start to stand up. You know what I mean? Feel the doorknob that as you open it up. Feel that anticipation as you're walking down the hall in the backstage towards the stadium. You know what I mean? You're standing back there. You're kind of really going over how you're wanting to open things up. They're giving you your microphone, setting you up, doing a little mic check. You're doing the mic check with them. You know what I mean? And then you're making sure your clothes are all right. Feel the silk on the blouse that you're wearing or whatever. You know what I mean? And then hear the crowd erupt in applause as they announce your name and you're walking out. And the lights, like, oh my God, I for real just saw brighter. My eyes just got brighter somehow. See the lights, you know what I mean? As you're coming out, you got the microphone, whatever, your headphone, your microphone, and you're talking and just feel all of that. Now open your eyes. I mean, we really immersed ourselves in that life, you know, that you're going to be living. And that's how you do it. Okay. And do that every single night as you're falling asleep. Do that. Do every aspect of it. I mean, there might be one night where all you do is you're just sitting on the plane the whole night. You know I mean, as you're falling asleep, you're just for 20 minutes. It's just a 20-minute plane ride to that speaking engagement. Who cares? You know, we kind of jumped around, jumped to different places to kind of show you, but you can do it. Do the whole process of getting ready. You know what I mean? Or jump around to all type of things. As soon as you get done with that, where are you going? You hopping on a plane again, but you ain't going back home. You're going to Cancun or something. You know what I mean? Like you got a speaking engagement to go to, and then from there you ain't even going home. You're going to Cancun. You know what I mean? You spending 3 months in Costa Rica to write another book. You know what I mean? You're just gonna spend 3 months there doing something. Who knows? You know what I mean? Make a whole TV show about the different herbs and everything that you can find in Central America. And you just filming the show in Costa Rica. Who knows? I mean, whatever it is you want, but one, be consistent in the type of images that you are imaging. You know what I mean? Like don't just like say it's speaking engagements. Don't just do speaking engagements one day and then for like a couple days and then you go to a TV show for a couple days and then you go to a radio show for a couple days and then you go to a podcast. Like be regular in what you're doing. If those are all things you want to do, then do all of those regularly. Don't just jump from like one because then you're gonna give the subconscious mind like, wait a second, we were building this and now you want this. So be very consistent with it. And this is where the 10 most wanted desires list is going to come into play, right? That's going to help you have that direction, have that consistent, clear direction of the same images that you're going to be imaging and what you're wanting to create for yourself. And so, and with the 10 most wanted desires list, you don't necessarily have to put something that's really far out there, like 50 million subscribers or followers, like put something that's the next step, like for you, for instance, it might just be 10,000 or 1,000, and then once you hit 10,000, then cross that off and turn that into 25,000. Then once you hit that, cross that off and turn that into 50,000, 100,000. All within your own mind that you're ultimately going to 50 million, but make it something that you can cross it off the next step. If it's something really big like that, make it whatever the next step is and write that down. But that's the how of how you would do something like that. That for that full immersion. And I didn't, when we were describing that, I didn't really incorporate as much smells and sounds as I would.
Well, I did.
Yeah,
I smelled that leather. I love to smell leather.
Good. Yeah. Good. So, but that's what you want to do. That's the full immersion. You're really utilizing, like right now in this physical 3D world, we use our physical senses to understand what we're experiencing. And in the astral world, which is the subconscious mind, which is its duty is to manifest the desires of the conscious mind, is to manifest our reality. You want to use your inner senses in order to experience those things, pull them to you. So that's good. That's how you want to do it. And for everybody else, do the same thing just for your own goals and what you want to live life. And also when you're doing that, be mindful of like, what's that Santana, the Santana that's living that life? How does she think differently? You know what I mean? What kind of ways does she approach her problems and coming up with solutions that's different from how you do? What kind of habits does she have that are different from your current habits? You know what I mean? What kind of people are in her life that have remained in her life, and what people are kind of not there, and what type of people are new people that are in her life. You know what I mean? That Santana, what's different about her than where you currently are now? And then that'll give you a better idea on the parts of yourself to focus the most on in further evolving into, or if it's something new, cultivating. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you know what, man, hey, that Santana ain't got no time to spend 30, 40 minutes scrolling on TikTok. Maybe
Oh
only
damn, that's my habit.
like,
But
but I mean,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
no, you good.
I
I was just
literally
gonna
think
say,
about things.
I was just gonna say that's just something to kind of be aware of. You know, like what kind, you know, maybe that Santana ain't got no time for Netflix series. You know, and it's not like you got to cut it out right now, but
Right.
just be mindful. Like, you know what? At some point, this space is going to be filled with something else.
I think about that. One thing that I've been doing is working on those habit and those skill sets that that version of me has
Mm-hmm.
in my present moment. Like she's more analytical. She's very. I have my foundation of problem solving. Um, with the job, with being a trauma domestic violence, counselor and everything like that. But taking it up a notch, I really I'm studying the states of mind, the brain frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
and learning from Jose Silva with mind control that he talks about that we should really be utilizing both our right and our left brain hemispheres. And he also said that problem solving needs to be in, I think, alpha state brain level. So I'm to learning how to go to alpha state brain level so that I can tap into problem solving with ease and grace. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm working on
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And because part of the thing with that, because that's perfect, and it also comes into line with what you very first said of before you even mentioned anything about like the social media and the cookbook and everything. The very first thing you mentioned was communication. I mean, so it's exactly what you're saying of building the skill sets, and taking that along with the last thing that I said. One thing that a lot of people don't realize that they need to do as far as with what they're manifesting, and it's something really big, like that, like being someone who's living a life where you're just traveling places, having speaking engagements. You have 50,000 people following, or 50 million people following you, and consuming your content, and really their life is changing because of the choices that you're making in your life. And is your life now prepared? Are you prepared to live that life today? You know what I mean? Like that kind of life. Are you prepared to live it today? If all of those things happen tonight and you woke up tomorrow living that life, are you prepared to live that life? Like being someone who says, I want to make $1 million a year. Are you currently prepared to receive that lifestyle? Like, I mean, because to make $1 million a year, you got to be putting together a certain kind of effort. I'm sure we've all kind of seen the meme before. Lamborghini was asked, why they don't have no commercials, because our customers ain't watching TV. I mean, our customers don't
Wow.
know no Game of Thrones because they're too busy living life. So their lifestyle, their life is prepared for that. So is your life prepared for that? To be able to receive these things that you want. The chef is in the building. The other chef, Chef Rouge. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Hey, yo, Santana. I'm actually also a plant-based chef, and I'm a huge fan of Jose Silva. I do the and Robert B. Stone. So, if you want to chat or bounce ideas, or want feedback, or even just someone to help you imagine stuff, like I'm a big like student of manifestation, and like Neville Goddard is probably my favorite teacher, but yeah, Jose Silva and
You write
Robert
really good books.
are freaking awesome. Like The Power of Miracle Metaphysics, I would recommend to everybody. Robert worked with Jose Silva for years at the Silva Center, and it helped him. Like, if you download an audiobook of the Silva method or anything with Jose Silva, it's usually Robert B. Stone narrating. But actually, the reason I hopped on here, Tarak, I don't know if have you read Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand? That's like what you're talking about right now is just like totally in line with reality transurfing. It's like it's a different.
I haven't heard of it. Reality Transurfing.
Yeah, it's actually it's like I think it's like a 30-hour long audio. Like I'm listening to it on like double speed, and I think I still have like 10, 12 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like it's very it's very in line with like Abraham and like Law of Attraction. And Neville Goddard Law of Assumption, but it doesn't use the words Law of Attraction. But it's essentially about like tuning into the reality that you want to experience. Like instead of manifesting something, it's like it kind of explains the difference between outer intention and inner intention, and how you can, by using either outer intention or inner intention or a combination of the two, you can essentially tune into the reality that you want to experience. But yeah, the one of the points that they make very often or repeatedly throughout the book or a series of books is if you're not like ready to experience the reality, it's like you're not priming like the external or internal world to be able to do that. And so it's like that has to be a factor when you're trying to manifest anything. You have to like think of like, yeah, how would this person see me? How would they react to me? And and then like tuning into all the different aspects of that and like really trying to explain that vividly. And really also I think that fits a lot with Neville Goddard too. But yeah, I just thought that was super cool. And just the whole discussion tonight is super dope. I think you guys are all awesome. So
yeah, thank you
Brandon,
for sharing.
what was the book that you mentioned previously? It was The Power of
The Power of Miracle Metaphysics.
Okay.
Yeah, Robert B. Stone has a few like incredible books. And he's like not someone that I've heard of much. I think I came across his book on Brian Scott's podcast, The Reality Revolution, which I also highly recommend. He reads a lot of Neville Goddard, and talks a lot about reality creation.
Yeah, Neville Goddard, he'll get you right.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about going back to what we were talking about earlier with the Bible, Neville Goddard has some super interesting interpretations of the Bible. And essentially explains it as like is not something you look at as historical like fact or history. It's the different characters and situations and stories in the Bible are what you experience as a human as you go through your evolution.
Exactly.
Ultimately into birthing Christ within you.
The knower.
Yeah.
John the Baptist is the believer and Jesus Christ is the knower. The one who believes of what they can achieve versus then the one who ultimately knows what they are capable of. You're absolutely right. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that was it. But yeah, I'm also like I love learning about history and Yeshua, so appreciated what you were talking about earlier with Yeshua going to India and in the East essentially to study meditation and yoga and like qigong and in Egypt, yeah, like that's um super cool historical element that you just don't hear about.
Yeah, yeah. And when you understand that and understand these things, and then you go back and read the things that he did and the way he approached it. Like every time he healed somebody, he always said, "Now go forth and sin no more." Pretty much just saying like, okay, you've healed it, but make sure you don't continue the same mental habits and programming that produced it in the first place. You know, don't continue thinking in the same way and acting in the same way that produced this in the first place. Otherwise, what I just did is useless. It's just a vacation from your pain.
Yeah, word. Yeah, and it's like with that, it's like because it's go forth and tell no one is important instruction for you yourself, so like you don't keep repeating it or you don't re-manifest it by focusing on it or talking about it. But then also it's like it's one of those things you hear from people who are either very experienced or just very wise, or usually both,
Yeah,
is that you don't tell your dreams to everybody or your major aspirations, because every person you talk to, unless they really are like a metaphysician or someone who really deeply cares about you and is successful, like just you telling them your vision or your ideas is going to introduce their doubt into the process. And so that actually, if under the wrong circumstances, or have someone who has too much of an influence on you, or your how you see yourself and how you think, then just introducing that doubt like really can just mess you up.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it's you're right. It's the energy that they feed into that. So if they have a level of like not wanting to believe you, or because sometimes it's just they hope that you don't succeed, not out of like any hate or anything, but because if you do, then that means that they were capable of doing great things also, but didn't actually do it. So it's like if as long as you don't succeed, then I won't feel so bad about me not succeeding. And
Yeah,
so it stems from some of that, a lot of that too. And so just like we all fed a certain amount of energy into the image that we were creating for Santana, you know what I mean? There was a lot of good energy into infusing into it of us all wanting that to manifest. So it's like that's the opposite of what kind of you're talking about, but just kind of displaying that so that we can all kind of better understand what you're saying and why the mechanics behind why you may want to be more cautious of exactly who you're sharing these things with.
mm.
It's absolutely right.
I concur.
Beautiful. Well, what about Jenna? How are you? Do you have anything to share? And Kari, or is it Kari or Carrie? I think this is your first time here, maybe.
Hi. I don't know if you can hear me. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sick. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I've been doing like the concentration and um that kind of stuff, and I've been noticing a change.
Nice.
I try to do it at work. It's a little hard to do because I work at Disneyland, but
Oh wow.
yeah. But like if I'm in a certain area, like if I go outside and there's like no guests around, I just kind of like listen to the world around me,
Mm-hmm.
and not try to like, because I'm the kind of person I daydream a lot. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to just focus on the outside world, and then I kind of like notice things like the beauty of like nature and everything like that. So I'm starting to notice different stuff like that um when I do that. But I do the concentration every day.
Nice.
um I do it with the clock with the second hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also do it I have like a app on my phone that it just like shows like a chakra, and it just shows it coming through, going out, coming through, going out. So I focus on that too because I notice it helps. Like
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm shy, so
No, you're
um
fine. You're fine. Here's what
but
I would suggest with the chakra one.
mhm.
Instead of using the app, use the different technologies that you have available to you to have a better understanding of exactly where each chakra is in your body and what it may look like, and begin putting your attention on that chakra and seeing the energy flowing in and out of that chakra,
Oh,
spinning like a vortex versus the app. Just really put your attention on it and experience it yourself. That would have a much more powerful effect. Uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's what
Okay.
I would suggest.
Yeah.
Because just everything you described before that was pretty much, you saying like I have the tools and ability to do this. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I think that app probably definitely served a purpose, but it
Mhm.
sounds like you're at a point where you can really go beyond that and do it, because you'll start to really feel the energy, and it'll have a lot more effects than just the subtle kind of unconscious attention you're putting to that chakra through watching the video of what it's doing on the app. Putting more
Mhm.
direct attention on it, and an intention of actually moving that energy. And you can just use your imagination at first. Energy moves off intention, so your imagination is all you need. But
Oh,
eventually you'll, if you can't already, eventually you'll be able to perceive that energy moving and flowing.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll
You'll be
definitely
able to
check.
perceive, like, which way do I need to spin this chakra for energy to leave out, and which way do I need to spin this chakra for energy to come back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I never thought about it like that. So
What about with the concentration? What are you understanding about your attention?
I noticed with the concentration, like when I first started, my mind would wander.
Mhm.
Like, just start thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do today? And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, concentrate again.
yeah.
But now I'm able to just like focus on it. I mean, sometimes the occasional thoughts will come, but I'm
Hmm.
able to like push those aside and then focus on what I'm concentrating on.
Hmm.
And then I noticed you mentioned the during the one of your videos that you said that like do a conversation, but like don't interrupt them, let them finish the conversation.
Hmm.
So I've been trying to work on that. Like if I'm talking to someone, I'll be like, okay, don't speak, like don't interrupt them. Let me hear what they fully have to say,
Yeah.
and then when they're ready, I can respond. So I've
Hmm.
been definitely trying to do that, and it helps a lot too because
Yeah.
usually I would interrupt them. So I would like, oh yeah, and then I would talk, and I'm like, wait, that's rude. But now I'm just like, I'm actually hearing what they have to say,
Hmm.
and now it's my turn to actually, say what I feel or add to the conversation.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that's very helpful though. So
Nice. Nice.
hmm
One
hmm
thing, I don't know if I shared it in that video or live that you were talking about, but one thing that helps with that is also, and you may be past the point because you've done it enough times where you don't need this, but for anybody else or for you, because you could probably use it and it might help you along wherever you're at now with it. But you can imagine like holding a bowl in your lap, and because a bowl represents like receptivity. And just see the person's words just falling into the bowl and filling the bowl. And
hmm
that will help you to get into a very receptive state versus the aggressive state of I have thoughts I need to say, I have thoughts I need to share. So it'll
hmm
help you put you into a more receptive state, so that it because then also it's easier to let go of those thoughts when they come in. Like, oh, I want something, because it's one thing to, because at one level you'll be like, oh, let me not interject, but you're still holding on to the thought. And then eventually, after a little while longer of practicing it, you're then able to actually let go of the thought that you wanted to say, to be fully receptive again to what they're saying. So that bowl helps with that. No, I'm not sure, if that would help or not. With or maybe you're already beyond that point to where you've gotten past a lot of those obstacles to where you're able to put yourself in a really receptive state, which is really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely try it though the next time I have a conversation. Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, when we do the next breathing session, I will make sure that we pick a day that you're available this time around.
Okay.
Sure.
I haven't been doing the breathing though because I've been sick. So every time I try to do it, I'm like, oh no, I have to cough. So
what kind of sick are you? Like what are the symptoms?
I got COVID.
Okay.
So I think
so
it's
like
going
what symptoms are you experiencing then?
I have coughing and that's pretty much it. I had like the cold symptoms, but that's going away. Right now it's just the coughing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the breathing, like so when you say you can't do the breathing because of it, what do you mean by that?
Because I start to cough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Like is the coughing just like nonstop then if you do the breathing? Or is it just like you have to cough and then it goes away and then it comes back?
Like I notice like when I'm laying down, I cough more. But like I notice if I sit down and I'm like, oh, let me just focus on my breathing. I don't know, I just start coughing. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean,
thing or just coughing.
I didn't know if maybe you were like had a lot of congestion or something, and that's what made it harder. But I mean, you can. I mean, you don't have to, but you can do the breathing, and then if you have to stop and cough for a minute, then cough, get some water, and then get back into it. Just because that will really help speed up how fast you get over that, like tremendously. It'll really help. There's other things like last time I got COVID, I had symptoms for one day, and that was it. But that was and like the last time I had it was like the first. Like I'd never been sick like that before. But I was so caught up in other things. It was back in January that it wasn't until like 4 days in where I actually started doing some of the things that I knew to do. But I have this machine, this quantum frequency healing machine, to where the last time it came up, I just drank twice a day my tea with moringa, sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root. Drank that twice a day for 2 days in a row. The first day was the day where I had all the symptoms and stuff, and then I put myself on some frequencies specifically for COVID, flu, and everything. And I had those symptoms for just one day. I think I had a cough for like the second day, and that was it.
Okay. What are the frequencies that
It's a machine called Spooky 2. It's by a guy Royal Raymond Rife. He was a good friend of Nikola Tesla's. Same technology. It's just essentially just like so the frequency that because everything resonates at a certain frequency, right? And so the frequency of healing of being whole and healthy as far as your like lungs and throats and nasal is involved is a certain frequency. Those areas of your body resonate at a certain frequency. Right now they're resonating at a different frequency because they're emitting signs that a different frequency is being resonated. And so what it does is it sends the other frequency of wholeness and healing, it sends that frequency over and over and over, a constant sending of the frequency to where it slowly wants to like if you have a guitar that's like I think if you have like a guitar with a bunch of people and they're playing and one guitar is out of tune, slowly it'll start to get in tune just by being in the frequency of all of the other guitars that are in tune. They'll tune up. Like women who spend a lot of time around each other, they start to sync up, and so because those frequencies that are emitted around start to harmonize with the others that are around it. The you want to know who you are? Look at the 5 closest people to you. That's true because of the frequencies of what your environment is surrounded in. So all you have to do with this machine is like take some kind of DNA. I just use fingernails, put my fingernails in there. I can go off and do whatever. I can be asleep. I can be awake 24/7. I had my calf muscle, like the muscle underneath your calf and your calf muscle completely separated because I started working out again in a long time and I started playing soccer. And I'm thinking I can make cuts and everything like when I was in high school and just completely tore it and have like I shouldn't have been running for at least I shouldn't have been jogging for at least 6 months. Like for real. I, I was back playing soccer within 4 weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks. Back playing. One day I had I tore a ligament in my ankle. I mean, it was a bruise this big across my ankle. And I was back playing the next Saturday. Like all my friends, they were like, "What are you doing here, man?" Like I heard it pop. I heard the snap. Like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm fine. What you mean? I got my machine. I'm good. And so it's just because it's 24/7 sending those frequencies. But really, and that's one that I like about this machine the most is it's helping me to one build a belief, but then also understand the power of because it's the same thing. You can heal yourself the same way, but you just have to constantly emit that frequency of already being healed and whole.
I got something to say about that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did that last Thursday.
Yeah.
Somebody had bought us breakfast to my job. They treated us, and I hadn't been eating any meat-based products at all because after that breath work exercise, I didn't have the desire.
Yeah.
So I kind of in and out between like plant-based and not plant-based, depending on like convenience. But if I had it my way, I would do plant-based like 24/7. But nonetheless, for that whole week, I hadn't had any meat of any sort. And I was like, I really want an omelet. So I ordered this omelet for breakfast, and I ate it, and I'm telling you, I was tearing it up too. I ate the whole thing, no problem. And after that, I was sick for the rest of my work day. I was sick all the hour before it was time for me to leave. And the problem was that I had somewhere to go that night. And I was like, oh no, like why didn't I just eat this omelet? Like, why didn't I just order some pancakes or something? That wouldn't have done any better, but still, I was like, I should order something else. I got to get rid of this. So I was like, all right, I muscled through it. I saw a couple patients and then was like, during a break, I said, look, I'm gonna go back to the back. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. I'll be back out. Let me know if y'all need anything. All right. So I went and laid back down in one of the rooms in silence. And I just laid there and was like, listen here, cells in my body. I need for you to heal whatever is going on with me right now. I need it to be healed. I'm setting an intention to be healed because I got somewhere to go tonight. I have something to do and I need this to go away. Like I don't need to feel better. I need it to go all the way away. So do what it is that I need to do tonight. And I'm telling you, an hour after that, I was better.
Nice.
It was insane. I was like, what?
Yeah. And that's why those threes are showing up. Creation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Creation. Manifestation. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did want to go ahead.
No, I was saying I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is slightly off topic, but because you mentioned that, there's been a couple book recommendations. I'm rereading a book that I've read a while ago, but I don't know if it's, to me, it's kind of like the base or like the basics or starter kind of. But the Kabbalion, this.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all can see it.
It's doing you like it was doing me. It's blurred. Yeah. The
Kabbalion, yeah. So it's just but it's like I have a way better understanding of the concepts now. Like it's hitting different. It's hitting different. So it's kind of like a back to the basics thing for me. Mm-hmm. So I just found that very helpful. That and doing the recording of my dreams. Like I like that dream that I told you the other day.
Yeah.
I was able to remember like even more detail than I thought, because as soon as I woke up, I just went to the record app on my phone, and I just started talking. I just recorded it, and then I wrote it.
Yeah. I would definitely suggest writing it down, but hey, above all else, do what you got to do to get it recorded. Yeah.
had a interesting take. I thought about actually ordering a recorder on Amazon where, you can have the recorder beside your bed and, so you won't have to all the way get up and then you
Mhm.
can just press the button of what happened in your dream. And you can also use that as a way of recording something and playing it over and over to reprogram your subconscious. So that's
Mhm.
what I had, thought about a great idea for us to all do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as far as like playing back while you're asleep.
Yeah, like so I was looking up the different recorders just a minute ago on Amazon
Mhm.
because the whole process to wake yourself up to write it, because I think when Brandon mentioned he the previous conversation that he mentioned was that what did he do about consecutive dreams. So I was thinking like maybe if he had the recorder, he can just state it, when he wakes up and then press stop on the recorder, and then go back to sleep versus waking all the way up and writing it word for word. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of wake up and I think I kind of wake up in spurts where I wake up at 2:40, go back to sleep 4 o'clock, and it's just because I'm going in and out the dreams. So, and a lot of times where I'm able to write them down is I wake fully back up when my alarm wakes up, but everybody don't have that ability to remember their consecutive dreams. So I
Yeah.
was just thinking, like, what about a small recorder and just, doing something similar what Brandon had mentioned. I think I'm saying his name wrong. J2. I don't know your real name. I'm sorry.
Well,
But you you mentioned like you had the consecutive dreams and you were pretty much asking Tarak about it. But yeah, everybody don't really have that memory where they can remember, all of the dreams that they had if they do go and revisit some of those places.
that was
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah,
Okay,
Amazon
Any
has some
any
really good.
last minute things? Because I'm realizing it's 12 o'clock and I gotta be up in 6 hours.
I got me a few. You can hear me. I don't
Yeah,
know if my
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. The first thing is the second dream. After
Yeah,
you
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about yeah, I remember it. My second dream it was weird to me at first, but then yeah, but my dream was there was rotten fruit in the deep freezer, so I was taking that out and throwing it away. And I was inside of the house that I'm in right now, and right now it was on the second story of the house. So yeah,
Mm,
the dream took place right
yeah,
there taking food, rotten food, and just putting it in the garbage can. That's all I remember from it.
nice, nice. Okay, so so first the second floor. I wonder if
Huh?
hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Oh,
Add something in here.
oh yeah, hold on. Let me just.
Wait,
What the? Man, come on, bruh. There we go.
1 second.
Damn. All right. So, goes.
Add this together already.
You want to lay down, boy? All right, boy.
All right. Okay. Everybody can see this?
Let me see. Yep, I could.
Okay. Everybody else can see my screen? I can't see you all anymore. So. Okay.
Back.
Uh, right here, you said the dream was in the second floor, right?
Yep.
Whenever you're dreaming, most houses in a dream, I've never had a dream where it wasn't this way. I've never even interpreted anybody's dream that was ever different. If it's more than 3 stories, it's usually like a hotel or an apartment building or a hospital or some other type of building that's separate from like a house. But almost all houses in your dreams are going to have 3 stories. The first story is going to represent the conscious mind. The second story is going to represent the subconscious mind. And the third story is going to represent the superconscious mind or the attic. Also, the roof also represents the superconscious mind. The sky represents superconscious mind. All of those kind of things represent superconscious mind. Well, this was going on in the subconscious mind. And so you were getting rid of old rotten food and throwing it in the trash, right? Why do you throw out old rotten food?
Huh?
Like in your waking life, if you went to the deep freeze and found some old rotten food, you would throw it away, right?
Yeah, of course.
Why would you throw it away?
Not useful no more. It can't help me at all because it's rotten.
Exactly. Not useful anymore. It can't help you at all. And so when did you have this dream?
Huh?
When did you have this dream?
I believe it was last night because I haven't written this dream down or the other one that I told you, so I really don't know. But between this,
but recently, last night or the night before. So recently, there have been some thoughts that you have come across that have been stored in your mind that you have gotten rid of and let go of because you understand it's no longer useful to you anymore.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. So the key there is to identify what those thoughts are related to. And it has something to do with like life lessons that you feel you could have learned. And so like maybe it's like the old way you used to learn like from life. It's like, you know what, I need to let that go, which kind of is in alignment with what you were talking about as far as infusing that old self with those two former selves into your current self, your current state of being right now. In order to do that, you have to make space. You have to get rid of some old way of thinking in order to make space and upgrade for a new way of thinking.
Right, I do.
Yeah, that's a beautiful dream, man.
Yep. And there's a other practice I started doing like 2 days ago out of the blue. I just decided to do it because when I first got into the mentee membership and it was just me and you on the Zoom call, was one of my first goals
the very first one. Yeah, it was just me and you.
Yep. I remember that. One of my first goals was to control my energy to such an extent that nobody can compete. You feel me? Control it to such an extent that you gotta be training for hundreds of years to get where I am.
Yeah.
All right. So just a few days ago, I put headphones on, blasted some music, and I closed my eyes and I was trying to perceive the energy of other people around me. First, I did this upstairs with my mom while she was watching TV. I just laid by the couch, laid down with some headphones on, closed my eyes, tried to do this. Then I did this at school, and it was going well. I just have to get used to feeling that. Like I can feel that I can feel the energy shift when I go into a different environment, but I can't feel the individual ones. So then what I was getting my hand, but then I already know that if I put my intention on my hand, it would get warmer. So then just right now, like 5 minutes ago, I was imagining I was just imagining my energy with my body and my hand. I wasn't seeing it, but I was trying to perceive it. So I just had my hand. I brought it closer and closer to my body until, like right now, my hand is starting to get warmer and warmer as I get closer and closer. So I was trying to do this to other people. I did this to one of my friends, and it actually worked. I just had to get way closer than I had to do with me. I did this yesterday. Yesterday, and it worked. I just had to get closer. But I'm trying to do this without having to get close to them, just trying to perceive it without having to get close. Any tip on that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, the main tip is just keep practicing because that is all about energy perception, and the more you practice your concentration, then the more that's going to the more you'll be able to perceive it, and just the regular practice of it, and you'll be able to feel it more. So like when you're with your friends, yeah, practice it then, but even with yourself, continue to practice it. When you hold it close to yourself, then try to move energy through your arm and hand and into, like, maybe hold it above your solar plexus chakra, right? And then move energy out of your hand into your solar plexus chakra. instead of just
That's what
sitting
I've
there.
been doing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the funny part. I've been doing that. Like I would imagine there's an energy ball right here. I
yeah,
would do this. I was just doing this like a week ago. Imagine
yeah.
there's an energy ball right here. And then
Now,
first I will
now
open my
bring
hand.
your hands together. Hold your hands together like this.
Yup.
Hold them out in front of you like this. Not like this.
Like this.
No, 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 like this.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, yeah. And make a circle. And now just have the energy circle through your heart chakra, down your arm, in one hand, out the other hand, all the way back up, and just keep that circuit going over and over and over. And just do that. Practice with that. That's gonna really help with that helps with energy transmutation. If you're ever around people or you pick up on other people's energy, that's how you can transmute that energy. Because now it's your energy. So you don't have to leave it charged with however they have left it charged. It's your energy, do what you want with. So transmute it. That's one way you can transmute it. But that's really good also, whether it's for transmuting energy or not, for perceiving your energy and pushing your energy and controlling your energy and conditioning how it flows and controlling it and where to flow and everything, to where you'll be a lot better at that. I mean, you'll just walk past people and they'll feel your energy a lot more than they already do. But one thing that you said in the very beginning is very powerful. It's what we were talking about earlier, as far as using your ego in order to motivate you. You know what I mean? Like you have a goal to where it's like you have to be studying for 100 years to be as powerful as me. That is beautiful, because you're using your ego to help motivate you into being as disciplined as you need to be to cultivate the type of person you want to become. But the key is to make sure that you are always in the lead. Do not let the ego be out front and dictating where you're going. You know what I mean? So you always have to be in control of your ego as well. You know what I mean? So it's a fine balance when you're doing it that way. So I just want to throw that out there just so that you're very mindful of that as you're progressing through that.
All right.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm be honest with you. The only time I ever let my ego get out of control is when I be playing basketball.
I hear
I
you.
be taunting people, jumping up and down while I'm defending, man. It's so funny.
It's funny. That's funny. Hey, I'm gonna have to make my way out there, man. We're gonna have to get a game together. I'm gonna have to see you on the court.
I'm fire on the court, man.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna have to pick you up on my team then. I ain't trying to see it like that. I ain't trying to be on the other end of that.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna cut off here, y'all. I've definitely enjoyed it as always. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones for real. Right on time too, because yeah, right on time. But yeah, and Michelle, as far as like a community that you were talking about, like most people you can't really talk to about things like this. That honestly, that's really the only reason I ever even thought to create a Discord chat, was because I remember when I never had a community of people that I could even understand what I'd be talking about, except for my friends who had already learned up to anything that I've already shared with. But it still wasn't the same, you know what I mean? Like we've had plenty of people come up here and also share things as well. I ain't the only one that's sharing things in here. You know what I mean? We all can learn from each other. Even sometimes somebody might feel like they're just beginning on this journey. I still learn from listening to them. You can still learn from a lot, but essentially I just mean that the Discord chat primarily was in its inception of the thought for this particular chat of having a community for us to be able to share these things with. So I think one good thing that happened here is there were more connections between all of you versus just like me talking to one person at a time. And that's kind of what I've been hoping for, but it's hasn't really developed. Like this is the most time, other than the breathing exercise that we did. this is the most people we've had on camera ever at one time.
Yeah.
And so, but that's what I want. So I feel now it'll be more of like, because right now the only time anybody really says anything in the Discord chat is, "Hey, Tarak, this, hey," it's, not really much of, but I think that might change moving forward. So I'm excited for that. But just stating that because that's one thing that you shared. So feel free to anytime throughout the day, if you do have some sort of thought or insight or question, throw it out there. It don't have to be just a question for me. Just, hey, y'all, and anybody can kind of throw in some input.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for doing this for us. We appreciate
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, one thing I was wanting to say, I so for everybody here, the mentorship is staying at $10 forever. But you will see the mentor, so any future mentee that comes in is going to be $25 a month. But it's never going to change for none of y'all. So don't ever have to worry about it. And anybody in here, if you ever have any, money issues or anything, it don't matter. I mean, don't feel like you can't keep coming. Like you in here for life. You know what I mean? Like really the money aspect is just for you to kind of instill to be a little more disciplined. You know what I mean? So I just want to let you know when you start seeing posts about the mentor program being $25. I ain't over here raising prices on nobody. Because the last thing I would want is somebody to feel like they can't, come or anything. So I want to give you the heads up front that I'm gonna be doing that. So.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah,
all right, good talk, y'all. Good talk.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Hi, everyone.
Good night.
All right.